there's nothing
Yeah, she's like,
there.
okay,
No,
well,
he
can we
doesn't
get
feel
something
it.
to drink?
Yeah.
I am a portent of
I
evil.
am a portent of evil. Doom will follow me. Yeah.
Do you want to watch a movie?
Yeah. Just tell me what you want.
I'm a portent of evil. You knew this
Let me
when
do
you
this.
met me.
The remnant of a grudge. My aim is ever singular, and you know that. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast where we usually review the first volume of a brand new manga each week. But today, we are nearing the end of our Berserk journey, which means that my name is Josh Diamond Michaels, and today, as always, I am joined by
Megan Berserker Armor Puppy Perrine.
Cody Chibi Casca Decker.
Okay,
Chibi
all right.
Casca.
Thought you would have brought it a little bit more at the end, but
I got the name confused for a second.
Like GB.
I remember there was chibiness. I was like, don't mess it up. And then I
You
did.
did. You
And then I
kinda
did it
did.
at the end.
Yeah.
well, thank you for being here, Cody, dude. And thank you guys for being here, for watching, for listening at the end of our journey. This is our last pre-recorded Berserk review. We only have one video left, and that's going to be our live video, our live show covering the final chapter. This video is going to be covering everything until then, so that's going to include where we left off at chapter 341 through chapter 363. It pains me. It's bittersweet. It's everything I wanted it to be and more. We want to save, I guess, most of our thoughts on the series as a whole for that live. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're gonna compile some of your comments. We hopefully maybe might have a special guest. We might even have some Berserk builds or Berserk cosplays to show off. It's going to be an event. We're going to go all out because this series deserves it. So just with this final chunk, how did you guys feel, Cody, Megan, with only one chapter left to go?
I thought this was the best part. Especially like the art was like,
The best it's ever been.
Yeah, and the best it ever will be.
Yeah, and the best it ever will be. Yeah.
And then the I don't know, just everything being depicted. Like, oh yeah, this is like, normally when you say my favorite part was the ending, it's kind of like an insult, but I'm like, no, yeah, the ending's kind of the best.
Yeah.
Oh, so emotional. I cried like 3 times on separate different occasions. It's really like each chapter I was like, oh, one less chapter of Berserk. One less chapter of Berserk. It was really hard. And it is bittersweet. I'm glad things were kind of wrapped up. I'm glad we got a character back, but it still feels like just let them just get.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, a lot of questions were answered. A lot of characters felt like they had at least begun to embark on the journey that was going to be maybe a journey that we don't get to see. Because for me, with only one chapter left, it does seem like we know where a lot of characters are on their way to, but we're not going to get to see them get to that destination. We might get to see a panel. We might get to see, maybe a page. But I don't know and can't even imagine what to expect in this final chapter.
It did go much farther than I thought it would.
Really?
Mm.
I didn't expect them to even get to the island in the story, but I was
Yeah.
like, okay, they're gonna fight like another like thing on their way, but it was like, well, what happened in the next chapter? Oh, they got there, by the way. I was like, oh, and
Yeah.
then they do all the thing, and a lot of things get resolved.
Yeah, they got their character does this. It's like moment after moment for these characters. It's not just like, oh, we're gonna have another fight. It's like character shit,
Yeah.
which is like, I'm here.
Yeah, it's
So-
peak everything, dude.
I am like, because I'm like, okay, I don't even really see a Guts Griffith confrontation being even the point
Yeah.
anymore. Or,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that it turns out like that wasn't what it was building up to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which,
Or maybe it was.
maybe it was, and maybe, Guts
it's-
and Miura found Guts along the way.
Mm,
Guts told him his intention.
Oh.
Yeah.
okay.
Through story.
A little. All right. Okay. Yeah. Because like in the beginning, you're like, oh, this is for sure a revenge story.
Mhm.
Then
Mhm.
it's kind of just about doing this one thing that they do. So I'm like, I don't even know if he would care anymore about revenge. So it's
Yeah.
like, then the only thing is like, then what? It's just whatever Griffith is doing has to be resolved. That's really the only loose end.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we get to see characters like Rickert and Erica, which is where we left off, but we get to see them go off and set, forth on their journey. I doubt we'll get to see anything other than what we saw, but that was a nice send-off, I guess.
You assume they'll find the Guts crew at some point.
Maybe, but they are heading into absolute horror and danger.
Well, yeah, but we're better to find Guts.
True, Cody. Wow.
Yeah. Softball.
Yeah.
That one to me.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you said is right, though, and what you said too, Megan, is right. It's peak art, it's peak character writing, it's peak story. Everything has been accumulating to this, not only story-wise, but just like the fantasy elements, the cosmic fantasy elements. Everything is sort of comes to a head here, and it does so beautifully, I think. Like, we get to see little, little bits of magic, little bits of mages, little bits of, all these fantasy creatures sprinkled throughout, but then it all kind of comes together and comes to a head on this island at Elfhelm and, at the end of the story. And it's a beautiful thing. It did go a little bit farther than I think maybe most of us predicted it would. But I'm still curious as to how much farther it can go with just one chapter left.
Yeah. You are like, I mean, the story could have gone on for another couple of years.
Yeah.
Or, years in Berserk releases
5
doesn't
chapters.
mean the same thing.
Yeah.
So it could have gone on for another couple of volumes.
Definitely.
Of story, because it could have then become about like this grand revenge story now that basically now the whole team is actually here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, and now their tech expert is also on a journey, and then they all know where Griffith is.
Yeah, and thankfully the story does seem like it's going to end at a place where it still will feel complete.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt things, man, that I anticipated. If I'm being honest, I anticipated feeling them, but not as much as I did. I mean, some of the things that happened and some of the things that get resolved, you expect them to, on one hand, but actually getting to see them is not only beautiful, but it made me emotional. And I'm talking about, of course, one very specific thing that I think, we all know what it is.
Which was cool, because I was like, and then, it's just going to be the same thing that happens again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then when it did happen, I was like, oh, well, that would explain why it was happening this whole time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, oh yeah, I guess I never wondered what it was like for two people that were like affected by a thing, if there was any sort of like connection bond with like the outer worlds that would affect their perceptions of reality.
Yeah.
Never crossed my mind.
It is funny too, because, I love the fantasy, the magic, the cosmic fantasy elements of Berserk are my favorite parts of Berserk. So.
Is that, are you coining that term? Or are you
what?
Cosmic fantasy?
You called it cosmic fantasy in the last episode.
Oh, because we need to, don't let people know about that term, because that's a really cool term.
Well,
so you're gatekeeping cosmic fantasy?
Well,
listen, I don't know. I didn't say that on purpose. I think I think you misheard me.
No,
I said it was cosmic horror. It was a fantasy adaptation of cosmic horror. In your mind, you turn that into cosmic fantasy. And I think you need to keep that on the down low.
He's trying to copyright it. And he's trying to make sure that we get all, all the money from other people using it in the future.
That's not done that often.
Well, we own it. If you're watching and listening, we own it. So too bad.
Yeah, don't even try it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't say it.
CF.
Well, then that's a volume 1 coined term, cosmic fantasy and horror. I almost said, but
it's also horror.
It's also it's horror at times as well. But those parts are my favorite parts. Not so much the battles and stuff, which we've talked about. And it does seem like Miura was leaning all in on all those things here. However, this is also what I've come to love about Berserk. With every portion or chunk of chapters that I absolutely love, and again here it's all in on everything I love. There's always at least one chapter that I'm like, this was for you, huh? This was for you, Miura. And I love you. R.I.P. Rest in peace. You were a legend.
I'm trying to think of what scene.
There's just one chapter at the very end. It's this big moment, and we finally get to see a character reach a point that we've been wanting them to reach for a very long time. It's a beautiful moment. And then it just hard shifts to one chapter where Griffith is just talking about money and talking about the budget of Falconia.
We do not have the budget.
Yeah. And it goes like for a whole chapter.
Yeah.
And he's just like, well, how are we going to divvy this money up?
I forgot about the cosmic realm as being more opened, and then it's like, now the budget.
Yeah.
We have to worry about the deficit.
Yeah.
And Griffith's like, yes, but what is a budget without a deficit? And everyone goes,
And the kids are our future, which is why we need to open up school.
that was a very bizarre experience where Griffith is the children are the few.
And just like Charlotte is just like,
Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is what you're doing over there. While they're at Elfhelm, this is what you're doing.
It's
You're
like,
crunching
yeah.
numbers.
You're fudging the numbers.
You're
probably.
fudging the numbers. Yeah, you're starting up your own economy.
I do like the idea of someone who wanted to become king of the world, and then when they do, it turns out now it's just all paperwork now.
Yeah. I mean, it does seem like he's getting to that point. I mean, he has no physical adversary. So he's just, the only adversary he has now is
The economy.
the economy.
The greatest foe of them all.
Yeah, and good luck taking that down with Zod. Even Zod can't do that.
Oh,
yeah.
There's no eclipse.
There's no
Under
eclipse that can
Zod
save
we
you from-
trust.
There's no one you can sacrifice.
There's no eclipse that can save you from the IRS.
Oh.
Yeah.
How about In God We Trust Fund?
Okay, I like it.
Use that for something.
Yeah, it should have
Another
fit there,
term,
but-
another coin term.
Yeah.
It's so weird because now it's like I know there's no grand unless like this final chapter is like I assume it's gonna be bigger than a
I
lot
hope,
of the other
yeah,
chapters.
I hope so, yeah.
Unless it's just all a final battle. It is just like, wow, it's really gonna end with Griffiths just sitting there being like, yes, but I do think we should build a homeless shelter.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, now that we have education systems in place and we have something for the homeless, let's talk about freeways. Okay. And he's
He
just
kind
like-
of did. He
Yeah,
kind
no,
of
he
did
kinda
talk
did. He
about
kinda did.
transportation.
Astral-
Just like Hitler.
Astral freeways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hitler invented freeways.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Oh, wow. Surprised he didn't call them, the opposite of free ways.
Which would be?
I don't know. I'm not Hitler, dude. I don't know.
No, you passed the test.
Wow.
If he answered,
If he answered, oh boy.
Yeah. Well, we
Done.
really are all slaves when we're on the road,
Mm.
Yes. Slaves, of course, to the man.
To the man.
Yes.
To the man.
Much like, we have the brand of America on our necks.
Oh.
that's not bad. That's
Wow.
really good. You get
And
some.
it bleeds every time, the news comes on,
I like
Fox-
this visual.
Fox News.
I like this
Fox
visual. Yeah, of like a dollar sign stamped on your neck, and then April, whatever tax day is.
It starts bleeding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, we're coming up with a lot of good ideas
Yeah.
right now. But I guess we'll start going through it. Like I said in the beginning of the video, we're going to save our thoughts on the series as a whole and sort of go through, reminisce. We're saving that for the live. Also, it'd be nice to put together some sort of compilation of some of your favorite moments that you've seen or heard throughout us covering this amazing series. So if you have any standout moments or any favorite moments, timestamp them, leave them in the comments below. We'll try to compile some of them together and we'll play a little tribute video.
Oh, and
kind of fun.
I saw a second comment saying the same thing my friend did because I was like, I didn't
see that
quite
too.
trust him when anytime he tells me something because sometimes
saw
he
that
does
too.
just mess with me. But yeah, they were saying that like, yeah, he went digital, and at first in the previous chapter it was like I kind of can see it like getting better, but then in this one's like, oh, he figured out Photoshop.
Yeah, dude, he was doing something with the eyes in these couple chapters that I was just like, man, it looks like it took him 3 days just to fill in an iris. That's how detailed it was. Some of and even some of the characters started to really look like Farnese started to look a lot like cuter. I feel like her eyes got a lot bigger, and she just like was drawn in a more and it maybe makes sense because she as a person she's changing. Too.
Yeah.
But she looked a lot more innocent and a lot more, I don't know. She just looked a lot more bubbly than she's ever looked before. Her eyes were like freaking
I also
huge.
liked how he squeezed in one final character with bangs that Megan can cosplay. It was right
that
at the tail
character-
end of the story. I was like, wow, that's
Yeah.
almost spot on.
What's her name? Mardo?
Yeah, her name is Morda.
Morda.
And
I
Morda.
did like her.
Yeah, give me some Morda.
There we go.
Morda.
Yeah, give me some more Morda.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, that's when I was like, is this Witch Hat Atelier, dude? Because it was drawn beautifully. Not to mention, Morda might be, why was it Morda with the gang? You know what I mean?
Instead of Shirke?
I mean, sure.
I think she
no
was
Morda.
supposed to replace Shirke. I think Sharky was supposed to team up with like all the kids. And be like, I'm gonna go to this school now. And Morda's gonna Morda in the house.
Morda in the house.
Yeah, it's crazy how I haven't seen anything about this character. Like, I haven't seen anything about this character.
Yeah, there's so many characters that they meet here. And again, maybe just because it's at the very, very end. And I'm so thankful to just, I guess, to the whole Berserk community and everybody who's watched our videos too, that I didn't get anything spoiled. Like nothing, I didn't see anything online or in the comments.
They're all just wait till you see the next chapter.
Yeah.
Or at the most being like, oh, you'll like this character more than you think you will.
Yeah, let's say like, oh, so much stuff. You guys made your predictions on what's going to happen. You'll be surprised at how much can happen in just a few chapters, like stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just so glad that, like you said, like I didn't get these characters, their reveals spoiled, their plot points spoiled. I got to really enjoy it, and it was a really like crazy experience.
Yeah, Chibi Casca. That seems like a sticker people would have, and that's such a deep cut reference.
It seemed like it was like a little like platformer video game character. That's what it
like
seemed
Big
like.
Little Planet or something.
Yeah. She's like walking around. She's like doing stuff. Oh, it is a little big planet.
Well, not when I play it. I don't know. It's a Big Little Planet.
Yeah, when Josh plays it, it's Big Little.
Yeah,
but when everyone else plays it, it's a little big.
Yeah, when I played it, it's Big Little. Yeah. Ever heard of it?
No.
Ever heard of that game?
Ever heard of that game?
It did remind me of Don't Starve.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And then that one where you play a person in a trench coat, but then you're like 2 inches tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Little Nightmares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of littles.
Really cool.
A lot of littles, yeah.
Oh yeah? You play it?
I've never played it, but I've watched people play it.
Oh, you have you?
I actually have, yeah.
What's it about?
Well, it's about like a little girl, right? And it's a platform game. And
okay, you're just repeating what Megan said.
I just said that.
No, and it's a platform game, and I don't really know what it's about, but I watched someone play it. Megan's brother loves it, and Megan's brother played it on the TV, and it's his favorite game.
And you were just there.
And I listened and I heard what he had to say.
You didn't even watch him play.
I watched him play. One level.
Yeah, there we go.
Anyway, let's start going through it, and there's a lot to talk about, and there's a lot I can't wait to talk to you guys about. I'm excited, so let's just jump into it. Where we left off was the shadow guy, the shadow mask guy, Roscus.
Roscus. He looks like the guy from Spirited Away.
A little bit, but a little more evil.
He's evil. I mean, that guy's pretty evil. Real quick.
He's just hungry.
He killed people.
The most sympathetic background for any villain, according to Josh.
Yeah.
He's hungry.
A lot of people don't ask. A lot of people don't ask why people do the horrible things they do. Maybe they're hungry. Anyway,
cannibalism.
Yeah, I was about to say cannibalism. We would use that excuse for sure.
Yeah, sure, but
I was just hungry.
Yeah. Why'd you do that? What do you think? Why do you think I ate them?
Yeah, I had a problem and now I don't. I'm full
now.
Roscus ends up taking Erica hostage, and there was a huge battle to get her back. Or at least in the beginning with we kind of touched on it at the very end, but just like with the fireworks going off, and Rickards took a repurposed water like a fire extinguisher type thing with a barrel and a hose, and put gasoline in it and set everything on fire, and it's just like this crazy epic scene. Erica gets taken, and lo and behold, who comes to rescue her but the old man?
Old Beardy.
The old man, who, by the way, I didn't even know. I mean, I knew he was a cushion, the same cushion that was giving them all those problems, long ago. But I didn't know he was one of the generals. He's General Daiba. He was one of the cushion generals. And he tells this to the Baki Raka when he asks them, because he's a really obviously powerful sorcerer, and he uses his serpents, his snakes, and rats even to kind of
to bite the guy.
Yeah, he kind of rat catcher 2's the whole situation. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which you said happened somewhere else too, right?
That's how the Avengers comic book ends when they fight Loki.
Oh, right. That's what you said.
Ant-Man sends a bunch of ants at him.
Right. That was it.
Not rats.
Not rats or snakes. But
so
not
this
only
is
that,
snake rat catcher.
This is snake rat catcher, and not only that, he summons these like pterodactyl looking things.
That I was like, because he was like, I can control snakes. I'm like, oh, they just look like normal snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely like sick, dude. That did help. it's not like as amazing. And he's like, and also these things. But I'm like, those should have been the first.
Get
he did it
ready
right.
for this.
But he did it right. He peppered in snakes and rats. I mean, because if he would have opened with the pterodactyls, then
Then the snakes and rats would have been severely underwhelming.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
If he
yeah.
has like, I only have snakes, rats, and then these pterodactyls,
Yeah.
you want to like save those for the
you
end.
have to.
You,
dude.
you're right. 'Cause
Yeah.
Then you don't get to use the rats.
No.
No.
Unless you want to
No.
imply that like, well, I have control over like everything.
Yeah, unless the rats and the snakes are on the pterodactyl, but then at that point,
Well, he
It's
would just
like,
do
by
it.
the way,
It's
do
like-
you like rats?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
would just do it to show his range.
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
exactly, to flex a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's like, wow, you have mastery over these magical pterodactyls? Yes, and
Look
rats.
what's
Mhm.
look what's dangling from around his neck. Is that a necklace? No, it's a snake.
The snakes. There's
Yeah.
snakes everywhere.
yeah,
I have so many snakes.
yeah. So he summons these pterodactyls, and look, I know Rickard has, mentions this line about how he knows how far apostles are willing to go. That's why he has to deal with him there. That's why he didn't run away. But then I don't think that they have any chance against Roscus, and they end up fleeing. They try with one final and I think fatal blow
Mhm.
to deal with him. But it was a pretty epic scene and a beautiful page and just an awesome Rickard moment when they're flying away on these pterodactyls for him to, for Erica to be like, I got that thing, right before they got on, she's like, let me go get this thing. And then the pterodactyls are flying away. Roscus is coming after him. She's like, here's that thing. And it just is like this huge like cannon that he puts over his
Yeah,
shoulder.
that was bad.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. Such an awesome moment. And as they're leaving, you can see Griffith just staring at them, watching them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and before that too, like Ricker is just like a baller. He's like, here for your troubles, and it's like a bag of diamonds.
Oh,
to,
I don't
like,
know if it was
Luca.
him or the other guy who dropped it.
Oh,
I
was
think
it?
it was the other guy
Oh.
who dropped it from the sky.
Oh, and they were
Luca
like,
caught
hell
it,
yeah,
and it was diamonds. Yeah,
hell yeah,
because he doesn't need it anymore.
yeah.
I would have kept them.
I still
Mm.
would have kept him.
Just in
uh,
case.
You never know. You never know.
You never know when you need a bag of diamonds.
Mm.
Yeah,
Or was
diamonds-
that his bribe to not like hop on another pterodactyl and chase him?
No, I mean he gave it to Luca and the girls because they were really cool to him and they were really nice to him, and he I think grew an affinity for them and was just like, I don't need this, so here you go.
Oh, Luke, I was thinking of that guy who's not Zod, but he also has the flowing hair.
Oh yeah, Locust.
Well, yeah, okay,
No,
yeah.
it was the
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah, so they fly away, and I think, and I don't know, but I have a feeling that might be the last that we see of Rickard and Erica.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe.
now I could imagine them being like, "Where should we fly to? Have you ever heard of Elf Island?"
But they already said they know where they're going.
Yeah, they have a destination.
But did they say where?
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's that cushion or Baki Raka temple
Mhm.
thing, rock formation thing.
well, they're not gonna live there.
That's the plan.
Oh, they're gonna live at the temple.
Yeah, because I guess it's a safe haven where they go and they like live a life, like they live like warrior monks, I guess. I don't know. Someone's gonna correct me, but yeah. And that's why the general asks if he can go with them. He's like, I don't want to live here. I want to go there. And kind of to our point in the last video, we saw a lot of comments, and we'll talk more about it obviously in the final video, but a lot of people were, making it clear what Griffith was actually doing, which one comment said that he was really monopolizing safety and monopolizing freedom. And he was sort of making, he made the world impossible to live in
Yeah.
unless you live in the city that he rules.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think this general, this sorcerer was just like, yeah, I'm out. I don't want to do that. I don't want to play that game. I don't want to be here.
Well, no one wants to play Monopoly.
It's too long.
It's too long, and people just get way too competitive. Like
Yeah.
it's not real. You know that, right?
Yeah, everybody, somebody, it's going to be bad when someone really wants to be the banker.
Or you know it's gonna be about when someone
Yeah,
really
I
wants
know
to play.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Or when anyone wants to play at all.
When everyone wants to play
Yeah.
it all. Let's play, you guys. Let's play Monopoly.
yeah.
That's when you know.
You never play Monopoly with anyone who wants to do it at all.
Yeah.
I know.
They're like, oh, I can do this. Now, if they even
No.
imply they have
because they know. Like they know what to do. They're
Yeah.
gonna be sneaky about it. They're not gonna
Yeah.
cheat, but it's like you have to play so many times in order to be like, I'm gonna get this. Like it's not all about luck.
Griffith
okay?
is the guy that was like, I'm going to be the banker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about it for a whole chapter.
The banker of hopes and
The
dreams.
banker of hopes and dreams. That's great.
Yeah.
It's a term on its own. Yeah.
I
It's
coined
great.
it.
It's fantastic.
Put
But
that
we're-
in the bank.
Yeah, put that in the bank next to Cosmic Fantasy.
Stop saying.
Well, I mean, You're
It's
right.
fine. We just
You're right.
agreed to
You're right. You're right. You're right. I'll
Trademark
never say it
it.
again. I'll never say it again.
say what again?
I almost said it. I
You
almost said it.
almost did it.
Okay, so now that sort of seems to wrap up their story. Maybe we'll get another panel. Maybe we'll get a page. Who knows?
Mhm.
Either way, it seems like they have a destination. They're going. Love them both. And it was a badass moment for Rickard to go off on if that was his last moment. After that, it cuts back to the gang. And now they're I think getting off the boat
Finally.
and reaching the island. And Puck gets to tell the story of why he left the island in the first place.
A tale of epic
Yes.
battles
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and struggles.
Mm-hmm.
That ended, in a lot of ways, I think paralleled my life in a lot of ways. Because it ended, Puck just basically peed himself. He was passed out and he just peed on
Yeah,
a
he
seagull and then
did.
fell off.
That was a lot of piss.
Yeah, peed a lot and the seagull got a little mad and threw him off.
Yeah.
And so really, I mean, me and Puck, I think, are kindred spirits.
You peed on someone and they threw you off?
Well, I thought, you know what? For a second, I thought he was exaggerating things. But now that you phrased it like that, I believe you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Not
'Cause-
on someone,
Certainly adjacent.
right, maybe, but maybe, let's just say P was involved. Let's just say P was involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, at my rock bottom. Let's just say
Mm.
that. So me and Puck, brothers.
Yeah.
There's so many stories involving it.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
trying to pinpoint which one
It's
is.
hard
Yeah.
to pinpoint which story of him
Which
peeing
piss. Which
yeah,
piss
his rock
story.
bottom of his early, every year up until 2 years ago.
Okay, well, 3 years ago. That was such a funny, I think, reveal. I mean, you kind of know it's gonna be that, or
Yeah.
even. I mean, I don't think anybody expected it or needed it to be epic. It was so funny and perfect the way it was.
I just liked how, I mean, we can get into it later a little bit, but I just liked how I was like, oh, this is obviously I felt like it was a joke. Like, it felt like the beginning of him telling the story was like, oh, it's bullshit, but everyone knew. They're like, oh, Puck was,
Yeah,
like, it became canon, and you
Yeah.
get, like, a little more on Puck. I was like, this is great.
yeah. Everybody on the island was like, that Puck was the way he was with them. He was the same way on the island, and he would just annoy and bother everybody all the time.
Yeah.
Also, they say that Yzma, by the way, she does get that send off from her mom. She gets a little
Mhm.
shell. And she's like, "Call me if you ever need anything."
Call me sweetie.
Call me. And I think that's unfortunately another thing that was planted so that it could be used. I just don't.
Definitely, anytime they're in a sea battle, it'd
Yeah.
be like I'm gonna make a shell call.
Mm.
Yeah. There should be a pun.
Yeah.
There's a pun right there.
I mean, the only thing I think of is, like, shellfish, but that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, no, come on, guys. Like, call me on my shell phone instead
There
of
it
my cell
is.
phone.
There
I
it
s-
is.
I said shell
There it
phone.
is.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, but you didn't say it like I said it.
Yeah, you
So,
did it as a delivery.
Thank you.
It's DiGiorno.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, so yeah, it did feel like it was planted so that it could be used again. And unfortunately, like, I just can't imagine it gets used again. Maybe it does. Maybe, all these bows get tied up. And I could be wrong. But they also mentioned that time does move differently on this island, like as they're, swimming away. And we learned that from the PCAF story and all the
Mhm.
other stories about elves, that time seems to move differently. So I wonder again if that's going to play into the last chapter. Like, can you imagine, right? If they go to leave the island and just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years have passed.
It's the year 3000.
Or, Guts and Costco walk and it's into like a city. That would, okay, I hope it's
New
not
York
that.
There's a
City.
statue of Griffith, and it's him in
Yeah.
a business suit.
Yeah.
And they're like, what about the deficit?
Yeah.
It's like the Planet of the Apes, and he sees the
Yes.
Statue of Liberty with the statue
Yes.
of Griffith, and Gus is like, no.
Yeah. No, I mean, maybe. No, but I do think it might play into it somehow. But also, Griffith is immortal too.
Yeah, so he would be.
So he could survive into the far future.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, what is the state of the world gonna be like? I wonder. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, but as they walk into or onto land and onto the island, they get a couple attacks thrown at them. We don't have to dwell here for too long because the really, really interesting stuff and the meat of everything happens a little bit later.
They
But
fight some scarecrows.
yeah, they,
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
pumpkin scarecrows.
yeah, they get lost in like a little maze thing. Very cool.
I was like, if you would have told me. Guts would be fighting scarecrows. Like, there's so many little things that I never would have been able to guess based off of how the story started versus how it's ending.
And that's what we said in our last video. It just feels so natural.
Yeah. I don't even question it.
Yeah,
like,
I don't bat an eye.
Wait, what do you say? It's a little early for a Harvest Festival.
Yeah. That was
just great action hero line.
Great Guts. Great you dog.
Yeah. But yeah, they get lost in a little maze, fight a couple scarecrows, and then the witches come out.
Woo!
And the witches
Where are my witches at?
So cool. Where are my witches at?
Where are my witches at?
They use the term village of hats. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a trope term people use.
Really?
Whenever, like, in fiction, when it's like, it's like, oh, the elves, they all act, like anytime there's fiction, there's multiple races. Every race kind of pretty much just acts the same.
Mm-hmm.
So like they use the term like a planet of hats or a village of hats to describe like groups that are like, oh yeah, like, oh, those elves, they all know magic and they all, they're all act exactly the same. So I guess that term comes from this.
I took it as, because I don't know if, I think it was like Yzma who said it. Maybe it wasn't, but I took it as like she thought all the houses looked like witch hats.
I thought
witch
that
hat
too.
Well, yeah, that's what
witch hats.
Witch hat.
No, the hats, not hats, trees.
Not trees, hats.
Right, exactly. Right.
No, yeah, that's what they meant. It's just, but that term got taken to like mean its own
Now,
thing.
when you say it, it sounds derogatory.
Planet of hats.
Yeah, look at all those hats over there.
Well, I don't like hats. I'm not a hat guy.
I'm a hat guy.
You're not a hat guy. You just don't like your haircuts.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm not. That's not an
You
insult.
like hats. You like beanies. You like hats.
Beanies are not hats.
Yeah, they are.
No, they are not.
This is a hot dog, a sandwich thing.
Yes.
Because if
I don't
you're
think
saying
so.
what makes a hat is a bill.
What makes a hat is it's on your head.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree fully with that.
Well, because there's lots of things that in some places it'd be offensive to call some things that go on heads hats.
That's true. Yeah, would you call a yarmulke a hat?
No. Why
Would
do you guys
would you
try to
call it a
trap
hat
me
when,
like
when the
this?
mics are off?
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Their famous Megan hat rant.
Stop, you guys.
Okay.
Anyway.
Anyway,
Thought it'd be funny.
Yeah,
There was
that
also-
was a whole TV persona.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
there was also, when the witches show up and we meet Morta for the first time, and she's the badass witch. She's the bad girl.
Yeah,
she's got the bangs.
she's the baddie.
The sassy witch.
She's for sure the baddie. She's like, I mean, I love Morta, dude. Morta's
More
like,
than no, you like Farnese, right?
I mean, if I'm like,
It
if
is
it's
Really?
between Farney and Morta,
Wow.
someone who'd be fun on the team. I mean,
I mean, yeah, she is cool.
I was mortified when I saw her.
damn.
I'm trying to think. You already said Morda.
Yeah,
Morda.
it's okay. Think about it.
I'll think about it. I'll
The
think about it.
shadow
Come
of
back to me.
Morta. Shadow
That's
over
pretty
Morta?
good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, she does kind of cast a shadow over a lot of the other characters.
Damn.
You know?
Damn, you are on it with
Yeah.
Morta.
It's because what I'm inspired, dude. She's a beautiful character, powerful character,
Powerful character.
Powerful body.
Powerful body.
powerful body, powerful witch.
Witch?
Yeah,
Which?
witch. Speaking of Morta,
The witch with the witch hat.
no, Cody, come on,
Cody.
dude. It's a witch house. Wait, which house are you talking about?
No, witch hat.
Oh my
Which
God.
witch?
Yeah, which witch? I'm always talking about Morta. Always. If I'm talking about witches, I'm talking about Morta. That's it.
Yeah. Let's just
Yeah.
think about Morta for a second.
Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
starting Morta fan club.
Yeah, dude, for real. If there is any talk of a spinoff, give me a Morta spinoff. Not all the characters that have spent volumes.
Yeah, not
No.
guts.
Yeah.
No.
So what was also kind of cool is there's a little discussion. Well, they bring this guy named Gedfring, who looks like a funny, kind of like Yoda-esque character.
Yeah, with the goat.
Yeah, with a goat.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah, like a happy ending version of the guy in the first chapter.
Yeah. He also looks like another fantasy creature, but I couldn't figure out what they're called. And I did try to look before the episode and I couldn't figure it out. But
Like a frog?
this kind of look like a frog, but that's not a fantasy creature. I don't know if you ever read the Image comic Saga at all.
I have. I read the first issue.
I mean, he just looks like a creature that's from Saga.
Mm.
Yeah, great.
That's the one with the
Saga
TVs
AL.
that have sex.
Yeah. A lot of sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These TVs have sex and and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and anytime you see a TV on a body, you're like, fooly cooly.
What is
you
it
know?
called?
Saga.
Saga.
Yeah. Wait, which? No.
Which saga?
Which Saga?
What is it called?
Great name for a Morta spinoff. Which Saga?
Legitimately.
Yeah.
No, it'd be like Bad Witch.
Bad Witch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then like the movie trailer would be like, she's a bad.
And then it'd have this music. Ah, ah, you know what I mean? Bad Witch. Ah, I think of like Lucifer. You know the Lucifer music? Ah,
I don't like
ah, you know?
Are we?
Do you see
Do we have the same issue with
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Because I was gonna let it. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I'm
He
putting
did-
too much into
No.
these things.
No, he did
I
it
don't
like
want to.
he did it like 4 times.
And I'm like, maybe
Yeah.
if I knew what song that was, that
No,
would have made
he's
more
You want me to
sense.
sing it again?
No.
I'll sing it again.
Because I don't even think the song worked.
No,
for
the song doesn't work. for
no,
it.
no, they would play friggin' Billie Eilish's "Bad."
I'm
No,
a
dude, you've never seen the
bad
CW.
guy.
You've never
Duh.
seen the CW show, dude. And don't disrespect a legend like that. Billie Eilish is a legend.
I'm the bad guy.
Billie Eilish is a gift.
Duh.
She's a gift.
She's kind of
Can I have the receipt to return it?
No, you
I'm
can't.
the bad
But I like it,
witch.
and it was good. And it would have been better if,
If
you
I
were
wasn't,
dying.
yeah, if I wasn't.
Yeah.
Winter
Um,
air. It's tough
does
to
it-
breathe, you know.
Yeah, I don't actually.
Oh.
So they bring this guy Gedfring in, and Gedfring talks about there were I thought this was a really cool little thing too. He's like there was prophecy that there was going to be a small wind or whatever, and
Small wind.
It was about Puck, yeah, which is what I call it, Yeah. I have to excuse myself. Sometimes.
Yeah,
It was a
you take
small
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 farts.
win.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
He takes small farts.
yeah,
what? Wait, what? I take small farts.
yeah.
I mean, I guess. Is that a diss? I mean,
I'm just.
you want them to be bigger?
No, it's not
No.
like you do them. You take them.
I take them from other people. Yeah. Well, I mean, they shouldn't be so small then. If they fit in pockets, why not take them?
He's going around.
It's like it's like the pocket sand, but like he takes
Yeah.
farts and then he throws them at people.
Yeah, they're little.
I mean, you've seen him do stand up.
Oh, okay. All right. Is that what this is? Is this what we're doing?
This is what we're doing on the Lost Berserk episode, huh?
yeah. Anyway, that was a really cool little aside. But what really was cool to see is when they make it back to the village of the mages, and they're looking at everybody practicing magic, and you see that there's a whole society or a whole village of magic users, and getting to see them hone their craft, and Farnese and Shirke looking at everybody in amazement. Like, I don't know if they knew that. I knew Farnese for sure, but even Shirke, I think she was raised in the forest, and she didn't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if she knew or had any
Yeah.
experience.
She kept getting surprised when people were like, "Oh yeah, I knew your mentor." And you're like,
And she's like,
people.
what?
How did you know them?
Yeah,
Like, well, she was from
And-
here.
yeah. She got around.
We
Yeah.
told you that a couple
She
times.
got around.
Got around.
Everyone knew her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone knew her.
Everybody
We
did.
heard about the Skull Knight.
Yeah,
just
everyone
saying.
knows him.
Yeah.
Oh, we all know the Skull Knight.
And I can't wait. Dude, we got some
Woo.
revelations about that boy.
I did like too, like it was like Shirke, like all of them kind of were Shirke because they're all like on the island. Like, was it Morta's like, I want to get off this island. Let's go. Like, I'm wasted here. And they're like, no, be quiet. Like, they always try to shut her up. And I'm like, chill.
Yeah.
Like, what is
Yeah.
she doing? She just let her
She's just
be.
being her.
But none of them can leave, I guess. I mean, none of them want to leave. They're all kind of.
Well, I think, from my understanding, it's just like they just don't trust the outside world. This realm, Elfhelm,
Mhm.
was separate from
Mm.
the physical world for a long time. And then when it started to converge is why they laid those traps and why they don't trust people from the outside.
Mhm.
It's a magical focal point or something, but then it's like most mages only want to study.
Mm.
They're not doing it to like go out and like try to fight trolls.
Yeah.
So they're like,
That's true too. Yeah.
so Sharky is kind of like a rebel
Mm.
because it's like
badass.
you should be like, should just be like reading books and studying the cosmos, not like going out there and be like, I'm gonna beat up some mermaids.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, she kind of was put in that position too. Like, she kind of
Yeah.
says that later. She's like, I had to do what I had to do. And they're
Yeah.
like, damn, you're bad, girl. Like,
Yeah, they
she would have
loved her.
just been in that treehouse with her mistress for her whole life, probably, if she didn't have the opportunity to go.
Mm.
Yeah, but it was so cool to see all of not only the creatures that we get to see later, but all the magic users. And we get to meet other figures on that island. We get to meet some other gurus. And I wrote them all down. You know, I don't know how important they're going to be, but you got Master Skirbil, okay, who was the perplexed. He's like that. And then you got Master Ginnar, the ponderous. He's like, like that. And then you got Master Tharain, the resolved. So he's like, you know. And then you got Danan, the domestic.
I'm actually enjoying this a lot more than I thought I was going in.
Yeah. I was like, do you have more? Can you keep reading them? Yeah.
Because the first time I was like, oh. Second time I'm like,
yes.
oh, you're doing this. Third time I'm like, okay, yeah, what's the next one?
Yeah, what's the next one? Yeah.
I went through a whole process in my mind about that.
The first two were very similar, and then you switched it up with the last one.
And you started putting more into it.
Yeah. So that's like, you kind of sold us.
I mean, hopefully the viewers are having the same experience.
Yeah, it was kind of like out of body.
Yeah.
It's like I was like, it was astral. Yeah,
that astral.
That astral.
I told you guys what I'll do to that astral. So
like Griffith over here with how much you'll destroy that astral.
Oh
yes, dude.
No.
I'll call a Fisher, dude.
No.
So Danan is another character that we meet that we don't even know who she is yet, but we do meet her here, and she does seem to be this very nice resident that is just also very powerful, but just seems to be helping out everybody else. And we don't know much about her, but Guts gets there and he's like asking this whole council. He's like, all right, now that we're here, like we don't have time to dilly dally. Like I came here to fix Casca. And I also thought because they were aware of how much time was different there, that they would be in way more of a hurry, that they'd be like, oh, I don't know how many years are passing out there. We need to go. And Guts does try to do that, but he kind of gets strong armed and he's like, yeah, well, we're not going to take too kindly to you, not, allowing us to give you a nice dinner, let your companions rest.
Which I like the visual of someone being like, we don't take too kindly to folks that ain't going to take advantage of our hostility.
Yes.
Hospitality.
Hostility.
Well, it'll turn into hostility.
Oh, if you don't accept hospitality.
The difference between hospitality and hospitality is...
Hospitality.
The difference is one of them is a word.
You remember that, boy.
Don't you forget that. Yeah. But they were all they were all fun and kind of a Seven Dwarf situation, it kind of looked like to me. But they also sit him down and Guts down and they ask him about Griffith. They're like, okay, well, before we get started, like you need to tell us more about this Hawk of Light guy and who he is. And they explain sort of like what Griffith did in more detail and actually what the Spirit Tree House is, what their whole purpose in even being there, what they were doing and why Griffith went there to destroy it, why it needed to be destroyed. So when that attack happened, I had so many questions like why that mistress specifically? Did she know that she was going to aid Guts, or how did he know about Shirke? And it was calculated, but it was just so he could get rid of it, because we found out that the Spirit Tree Houses are like taking energy from the world tree and causing it to sort of not, bleed out, its energy to bleed out into, the physical realm or whatever.
Which is like a total, like the total, like F you to Guts. Like, you thought that was for you, right? I have no idea what you're doing. Yeah. Nor do I care.
He's like, you just happen to be there.
Exactly. How horrible is that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, Gus is like, this is because Griffith. He knows, like, dude, no.
Yeah, see, that's, dude, imagine, right? Like, Cody works at a pizza shop, right? And then me and Cody get in a real big fight. And then I come in one day and he's like, oh, you're here to fight me? And I'm like, nah, I just want pizza. Like that would hurt him on a deeper
There's
level.
Someone who did that, and you're right.
Oh, wow. Sorry. I should have said that.
Wow, sorry.
Because I also would be making the pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
And part of me is like, I should spit in this. The other part is I have integrity as a pizza maker. And out of spite, I'm going to make sure this is great.
That's nice.
It's not nice. I should have spit in it.
You should. I mean, you should have.
That is good revenge.
It's just doing what I was supposed to do.
I mean, as long as you don't have any, like, diseases or
no,
herpes.
I'm not freaking...
What? Who? Who's behind me?
No, there was a spooky ghost behind you for a second, but it's gone now. Oh, it was the ghost of Christmas Past.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. You're done.
That's been...
Oh, wow.
That thing's been, like, going after...
Is it like everybody's ghost of Christmas Past, or is it mine? Is it mine, or...
I don't know, he's been pointing at you a lot.
So I'm gonna die? Is that what you guys are saying?
No, that would be the future.
That's the future.
Yeah.
Your future is dying.
Yeah.
Well,
That's how ghosts work. What are you talking about?
okay. Well, maybe the ghost of my past is coming back to try to take me to show me how much better life has gotten. Anyway, so yeah, he tells him about that. And, we find out that the world tree. We're getting answers as to why the spirit tree houses were there. Guts is telling the guy Gedfring, which is such a hard name to remember. Cool name though. That Griffith isn't just. It's not a means to an end. It's an ends to a mean kind of situation, which he's not going to settle. Like he's doing this for a kingdom, but he's going to keep going. And I think it's ultimately and we find out from that chapter. That's one thing I think it does portray very well is that it's Griffith's goal to slowly expand and to rule the entire world. But it's such a cooler way of doing it than just the villain going like, I want to rule the world.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm going to rule the world and everyone will have free education until they hit 8. No, 10.
Yeah. 2 more years.
It is like, wow, if you have no idea what this guy has done, you are like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. If you have no idea what he's done.
Yeah. If.
Yeah.
But that's a
you have no
politician.
idea.
It's
honestly,
true.
yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
It's 100%.
It's 100% true. Truth.
Speaking truths over here. But yeah. They also talk about just like the paths that open and the elfin path and the dragon path.
Woo!
And then we get to learn more about the Behelit finally, that it's like, well, confirmed. I guess we think we all knew this, but it's basically a fetish that is used to transport you or to conjure things from the dragon path. And so, we've just seen Shirke, and it's just crazy how we've gotten to understand these things so much more. And it didn't really hit me until that moment when they explained it that simply, that I was like, oh yeah, like it's always been that. These things have always been here. They've always sort of, I don't know. It was just a weird feeling.
Yeah, it just seems so much more ominous. Like it's felt so much more of an ominous object
in the
just because Griffith like used it and was
even
trying to get
that.
Yeah, so it's just like, what is this thing? Like, what it has this capability to do this, and they're like, oh no, it's just this. I was like, oh, that's why Puck. I don't know, he likes it.
I mean, yeah, maybe Puck is. That's why he's not as afraid of it, or hasn't ever been as afraid of it. Because he's like, I mean, this is just a fetish. It's an evil one or a dangerous one, but
yeah. And I like Isidro like finding out that he knew Griffith, and he's like, wait, you were in the Band of the Hawk.
Right.
You're my hero. You know him, right?
Yeah, that was such a cool misdirect. I like that.
You're a friend with him, right? Yeah. And I was like, that's so cute.
Yeah, I love how they didn't have him realize.
Yeah.
Put 2 and 2 together, that he was still like, oh, you know the guy.
Yeah.
Like, the way it happened. So yeah, a lot of explanation here, and I'm a sucker for it. I love it. I mean, this was like, I could read stuff like this all day. I could just read. It's so funny that I can't, like, I don't like to learn about when like manga tried to teach me about things that are real, like science or like, math or whatever. But, give me chapters of just made up science about magic or about like, whatever. And I'll read it all day. Like I'll read textbooks about it. I don't know why. They should teach it in school.
Magic?
Yeah. Yeah.
Magic school, they do.
That's why you got to take the magic school bus to get there. Yeah. And I'm Mr. Frizzle. You know what I'm saying? You never saw the show.
I saw the show.
I like the show. I don't think you're as cool though.
Yeah.
Miss Frizzle is pretty cool. And she's courageous and brave.
Well, you guys have never been on a little bus with me.
That's what you called the magic school bus.
Okay, and I knew as soon as I said it that you were going to try to take it that down that road, but my bus doesn't go down that road. Okay, we don't pick up guys like you on my bus.
Aww.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh damn.
Yeah. So anyway, we get all this explanation. It was really fun to see. And everybody now is looking for the spirit of the Flower Storm Monarch, who we find out finally is Danan. And she has this full transformation. She's this beautiful elven creature covered in like flowers, and like we've said many times, the art again just better and better and better. So many full page spreads, 2-page spreads, incredible to look at. I'd actually venture to say that I don't know if we're around this point either, but volume 39 might be my favorite cover ever. It's just like him in that like colorful green forest with all the magical creatures surrounding it.
That is the thing I was thinking, like, wow, if this was colored, I probably I would have an adjustment period with my mind.
Yeah.
To like, you know, it's like when if you like just got like you went from like all you did was stream off YouTube to like
Yeah.
I got a 4K TV.
Yeah.
Like kind of like the Hell's Paradise situation where you read it in black and white, and then when you see the anime trailer, you're like, oh my god, it was right in front of me the whole time. This is supposed to be colorful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a really cool cover, and everything that happened in that volume 2 makes me think. I mean, I've collected the deluxe editions, but I might have to just collect that one for the cover alone. But anyway, they find out that the Flower Storm Monarch is Danan, don't know if I'm saying that right, and that they're gonna have to go into the Corridor of Dreams to save Casca.
What a quest!
What a quest! What an epic quest! And things are moving, dude.
Yeah,
things are moving.
Yeah,
kind of. I was like, oh, I didn't even think they would hit the point of like approaching that issue, but then like we're doing it now.
Yeah, yeah, and that was even funny too. In the manga, she says something along the lines of like, I would suggest that we all rest, that we all recover. She's like, but I know you're not gonna listen to that, so let's just go now.
Yeah, let's go do this now.
As a reader, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just happened so fast. Like they were just talking about all this stuff, and then they were there.
Yeah.
And then like Farnese and Shirky are on a mushroom, like falling asleep, and I'm like, oh my god, we're doing this.
Yeah, I love the dreams too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cute. And then it got dark.
It got dark.
Yeah, it got dark.
Part of me expected it to get a lot darker.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to see the event.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, they saw one event.
They did see that event.
The monsters started representing some things.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if they probably were like, I don't know. I guess weird monsters were at the time.
Yes, Shirke and Farnese never comment on it. Then again, what? Then again, I'm just saying maybe they don't have a lot of experience with that kind of stuff.
I don't think they do.
You know? So
they're not like, well, how old is Farnese? She's like, I think she's younger than Casca. Casca's like 24, 25.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think Farnese is still like a teenager.
And
Shirke's like a kid.
Yeah, let's not even talk about Shirke. Okay.
Okay, that's why she had her eyes covered. And Shirke's
That
like
was the funny
trying.
bit.
Yeah.
Shirke's like trying to be like, it's for scholarly,
Yeah.
like scholarly reference. I was like, it's true. I need to learn this for scholarly reference too.
They see memories of Guts and Casca.
Yeah.
And Farnese just covers.
Yeah.
It was really
cute.
cool though too, because they enter the corridor of dreams. They enter in their own dreams. They have things there that they encounter, and then realize that they have to go into Casca's dream or subconscious, and they take things from their dreams into Casca's dreams accidentally or without thinking about it. And those things are what allow them to end up, eventually getting through all the things, the trials that they have to go through while they're in Casca's dream. But they realize that once they're through the first layer, because the first layer is just like them as like very crudely drawn doodles, and then the second
I was like,
layer,
oh no.
Yeah,
I like that.
Oh,
That's the way of
God.
like showing how Casca's mind works.
Yeah.
Where it's just rough images and vague ideas.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of sad too, and when they went like a layer deeper, that's when things get a lot more real and things get a lot more dark, and you see what I still think is just such a jarring image. Like, despite who it ends up representing, just the imagery alone of just this like, emaciated dog dragging a coffin behind it. It was just such a really cool thing to see. I didn't know how like fucking metal that was gonna look.
Yeah, he didn't have an arm,
Yeah.
an eye. I was like, oh, I wonder who this could be.
I really like the metaphor. And it is, that's pretty much what he's been doing, just dragging the memory of a...
Yeah, of a broken doll. And those pieces, Griffith broke Casca, and Guts has been trying to pick up the pieces of what he left behind.
But he can't pick him up because he's got dog hands now.
He has his
got
dog.
no thumbs.
Because he's a
He's
dog
a dog now.
He is a dog. He's a dog. And we know
Yeah,
that.
that's sort of the moral. Of this.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was a dog.
Oh.
I mean, I knew it. From chapter 1, I knew that's a dog.
Yeah, that's a dog.
That's
right
a dog
there.
right there.
It is very sad.
Sheesh.
It's
Yeah, no,
sad.
it's very emotional.
Because they open the coffin and that image of the doll that is clearly, representing Casca broken, shattered. Obviously, you get the symbolism, you get the metaphor, you get it all. It's pretty, easy. to understand, but inside is a little tiny, version of Casca, a crudely drawn sort of stick figure, scraggly hair version of Casca. And Farnese and Schierke say that is the only bit of her that is like left, or that's like some sort of like small piece of her mind or personality that's left over, the only part that's left over. And then they decide that they have to set out on this journey to collect all these fragments, piece them back together, and hopefully then Casca will be whole. So as they do, they're getting attacked by various monsters as they're reliving various memories. So even as a way to end a series, I mean, this is like this is way better than what Endgame did.
Yeah.
A great tribute to the series while still making sense in the context of it.
And still moving the story forward.
Instead of being like, it's not just like, remember when Guts did this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was making me like emotional just seeing like the buildup of like him and Casca's relationship.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
I did definitely get the sense that this has it probably hitting people that like followed it over the course of years.
Right.
Yeah.
That's probably an experience I've missed out on because I was able to like go through it all in one go.
Yeah. I do have to say and confess that I even found myself remembering who Casca was as like she was remembering, because like we had talked about in previous episodes, like she had just became this like Elaine character or whatever. That's what they call her, right? That was the name that they gave her.
I forgot they even gave her like
Dude,
they never bothered clearing that up.
Yeah.
Me too, because when she says that when later. She's like, I remember when I was Elaine, and I was like, who the fuck is Elaine? And
I thought you were saying she's like Elaine from Seinfeld.
Right,
and I was like, maybe.
No.
Yeah, I forgot that was her name, and Gus was like, yeah, sure. I don't.
Yeah. But yeah, it's such a great way to go back and just get to relive the best moments, or just the standout, the highlight moments, the sizzle reel of Berserk, and seeing it all happen, moving the story forward.
And I really like how unless there's a better name, how Chibi Casca behaves. I really like all the motions and stuff and how like cartoony and childish it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then if you saw like an adult doing that, they would look really weird and traumatized. So like when Casca does stuff like that, it's not, it's like, oh, this person is mentally not well.
Yeah. And everything that's happening in this, Corridor of Dreams, this dream realm. Of course, they have the fetishes that they can use to their advantage, and there's the line of like, be careful, because what happens to our dream astral bodies could affect our physical forms. You have to say that whenever you're in a dream. Whatever happens to me in the dream happens to me in real life.
Yeah, because otherwise,
who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's just your soul will transfer the damage. So.
But they get closer and
they fight
closer.
like spiders and stuff.
Oh, they fight a lot of crazy looking things.
Yeah.
But as they get closer and closer, it's almost like each memory or each traumatic experience is calling a stronger and more ferocious beast, until eventually the beasts do start to look very phallic and very
I was like, oh no, I don't like this.
Yeah. At first it was like, that's for sure what that is, right?
And then it's like, oh
more.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And then you're like, oh, it's a metaphor. But then you go like, oh no, monsters in the real world also did that.
Yeah.
They also would look like that.
Yeah.
So
I did expect, because of all the crazy things that we've seen in Berserk, I did expect for it to be a lot more graphic than it was.
Yeah.
The reliving of it all.
And especially if it's going to be from their perspective and experience.
Yes.
But then there's like kind of like a thorn walk on her heart where you're like, that's where the heavy stuff is at.
Yeah. But what's crazy too is that like, they're going to this last fragment that's like wrapped in this like glowing barbed wire sort of like thing that's in the shape of an egg kind of in the distance. And the embodiment of Griffith, the falcon or the hawk, the pterodactyl, the femto hawk looking pterodactyl thing comes swooping in. Schierke's mistress comes back, and we realize that, she can walk between realms, and she says like, I told you I'd see you in a dream again. But what was way more cool than that is when they think that there's nothing else left for them to do, that they've lost all hope. They've exhausted the fetishes. She even used the root fetish. I mean, everything.
Everything in her bag.
And Farnese has used the clothes from her dream who embody the personalities of everybody. Like Serpico's cloak can fly on wind. They've done it all. And they think like there's nothing else left to do. That's when out of Farnice's bag with all the other laundry comes the Berserker helmet. And it just goes, and as
in Farnice's dream realm, she was just taking care of
just washing everything.
Yeah.
Just washing their clothes.
Yeah.
But their clothes like were them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just like in our world.
Yeah, we are what we eat and we are what we wear. Yeah. And sometimes you wear what you eat because you get it because it's a little messy. You get some on you.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking something
I'm
else.
a food pro, you know.
You never.
What?
Huh?
Anyway, this I never expected to see in Berserk ever. What is this? What am I seeing? What am I looking at? But it was also one of the most epic. Like if you would have showed me these panels, these pages from Berserk, I would have. First of all, I would have dropped everything I was doing and read it immediately. But I also would have been like, "There's no way."
How does it get here?
Yeah.
How does it get here?
Yeah, you got this. This is a prank. You got pranked. This is not happening. But it was so awesome to see the armor slowly, go over and encase the dog.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then it's like it gets its cannon out of its mouth, and I was like,
oh yeah,
why isn't this a thing? Why don't I see depictions of this?
Yeah,
it's not like that's a spoiler. Like, what context would that even like? If you like, I saw the it's like it's one scene, it's in a dream realm. No one knows the context of it.
Yeah.
That should be on freaking, cars and stuff.
Yeah, cars, yeah.
People should have little stickers of just the beast's head and then a cannon coming out of his mouth.
I want a sticker of just the Berserk dog.
You have a gut sticker that you still haven't put on your car.
I know, but it's been dirty and I want to make sure it's clean. It's a whole thing.
Well,
but
I am so
Berserk
glad, and
dog.
that's what I talk about when I talk about things not being spoiled, is like I had never seen that image anywhere before. I had never even seen a hint of this, and it's happening right in front of my eyes, and I'm like, no freaking way.
Yeah, imagine a figurine of that, and it has like a little explosive attachment you can add to the cannon. Like you can like open the mouth, and then you can like insert like a flame thing.
And also, too, I think the dog's tail was Dragon Slayer, was the sword.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
As it was spinning around, I saw Dragon Slayer, and I was like, what is it attached to? And I couldn't, it was like, because it's a lot of movement. I was like, I can't tell. And then there's finally a couple panels where I saw like, especially when it was perched on Dragon Slayer, it was like the tail was curled under it, and it was like perched on. It was like, oh, in the Berserker armor. I was like, this is like amazing.
Damn, I need to go see. I need to reread that part.
If you would have told me, maybe Miura, I mean, in all his genius, was like, look, I want to see. Maybe that was the first thing he ever drew, was a dog in Berserker armor, and he's like, that's how cool it is. And he was like, I just don't know how it's gonna get there. And then he just started all. He started all the way.
He reverse engineered the story.
Yeah.
Sort of like Stephen King with that sewer scene.
Yeah.
Except he was like, I want a dog to shoot for like a cannon from its mouth.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I don't know. There's a guy.
Yeah.
Elves. Okay, so the dog is like a sword for a tail. Oh, this guy's got like a sword.
It's a big sword.
Bigger.
Yeah,
bigger.
The
huge
biggest sword. Huge sword.
Huge.
But then he would have to have armor at some point.
Why is it losing a tail? Why doesn't it have an arm? Oh, I know.
I mean, that's how cool this image looked. But to see them fight and to see, all that go down was so epic, so amazing. I reread all Berserk again to see that again. That's how much I loved it. And Farnice and Shirke get to this thing that they've been trying to get to. And it's the last fragment. And at first, when they open up, it's Guts Jr. Just kind of floating and hovering in there.
And they're like, is that the Elf King?
Yeah, they're like, oh, what is Grunfeld doing?
They're like, what is that monster?
This
is another monster. Kill it.
And then it transforms into Casca's heart with the barbed wire around it. And I wrote this down. This is a term that I had never heard before, but she calls it an anathema, or it's like another word for a curse or something. But apparently it is when some sort of I guess object has a curse on it or has a lot of this cursed energy. It's what it's called. And the curse is basically that like her heart is wrapped in barbed wire because how is she to live with her memories and her sanity? It's almost like a paradox. It's almost like, can she have them both it's sort of this Occam's razor, if you will. Did I say that right, Cody?
Yeah.
What is that?
Occam's razor?
Yeah.
Oh, we're not gonna do a joke thing. Okay, Occam's razor is. I thought there's a potential there for a joke.
Yeah, there is. But
Occam's razor is the simplest answer is often the correct one.
Mm.
Basically, just they're like, you really think someone would just walk up to them and shoot them? Probably,
Yeah.
Probably. Start from there, and who killed her? Probably her boyfriend.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it's at this point that obviously Guts Jr. is Casca's heart. It's that last piece. It completes the doll. That image of the doll fully put together. Casca still as a doll was like eerie but beautiful. And then to see the little hatch open under the mark and for the little chibi Casca to crawl
like
in.
a mech.
Yeah.
Like
it was cool.
Like a Evangelion.
Yes.
Yeah, it's my favorite
Get
show.
in the damn doll, Casca.
Yeah.
It's my favorite show that I've definitely seen all of.
Oh yeah. How many
Right.
robots are there in it?
Well, I mean, it's a neon. It's so it's a lot.
All right. I guess you have seen it.
Yeah. I guess you have watched it.
Touche,
Okay.
Cody.
This time you've gotten me.
Do people cry?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people jack off too.
What?
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
I've seen that scene.
Yeah.
What scene are you talking
When you
about?
imply that you knew, like the only way you've seen the scene.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Everyone has seen the scene. That's why I watched it. I was like, oh, finally, a hero for me.
Okay.
Don't say that.
What?
Don't say
I
that.
don't know why he jacks off, but I know that it happens. And there's
Why does anyone jack off?
Well, yeah, but I mean,
That's what life, that's why it's a very
So
philosophical.
there's nothing wrong with it?
There's nothing wrong with jacking off.
She was asleep.
Oh,
Megan, he didn't see the scene.
Yeah, I didn't know what. I just said I didn't know what he was jacking off to. I literally just said that.
How is this?
That's on tape.
What
Yes, we
was
got
that?
footage of
2
that.
sentences?
That's so
And then
crazy.
you're like, what are you talking about? Here's the thing that you didn't know.
Yeah. Well, now I got it spoiled. So now I have seen Neon.
I'm
Basically.
so sorry.
Good God. You guys are like,
We got
We're
evidence.
really bad.
We got evidence of it.
I'm worse.
well, now what if other people haven't seen it?
Well, they just know that there's somebody who jacks off to somebody else who's asleep. Which you should never
It
do.
was a dream.
Like this is a dream
Yes.
Duh.
that they're about to
Life
awake
could
from.
be dream. Life could be dream. And then it pans out of the hospital.
Because as they wake, and by the way, it was a big decision for Farnese to have to do this too. Like it was up to Farnese. Like she could have just not done it. But
And you kind of get the final acknowledgement of them being, oh, for sure he was with Casca. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
they gotta move on now.
It took him this long.
They can see him having sex and stuff, and it's just like Farnese has that line of dialogue where she's like, I feared it, but now it is but confirmed. And it's
And he's like, I
yeah.
thought you moved way past this
Yeah,
point. I
yeah.
thought this was resolved already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She makes that decision. She does it. And it was a very, beautiful moment because I think Farnese for the first time now is realizing sort of her role. And she's like, I don't know. She's feeling a lot more responsible and she's feeling a lot more capable, I
Mhm.
think. And so she makes the choice to do it. They wake up and Casca, after all these chapters, after all these volumes, wakes up fully, all her faculties.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, I definitely didn't expect them to even handle that by this time. I didn't expect it to be like, oh, it worked.
It worked.
Well, mostly.
Yeah, mostly.
I was like,
Except for the part that you wanted to.
In
yeah,
true Berserk fashion,
I
though,
know.
it couldn't be.
I know. So frustrating. I was just happy.
So is this a part that you cried at
Yeah.
during?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a shot of just her face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the
Beautiful.
way it was she depicted where she's like she was basically just watching herself as like a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, I remember you guys, but it's like I saw what you did, but it's like it doesn't register as how she was, it's like, and especially with her talking to Farnese,
Yeah.
being like, thank
Like,
you for helping
yeah.
me the most. She's like, I didn't help
Yeah.
anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so emotional. Like she's finally able to talk.
Yeah.
And they don't even really like, I mean, obviously she's like, I'm so sorry. Like I'm literally the worst. Like I'm literally the worst. Like I
Oh
was
my
crazy
God.
last
What
night.
did I do for the
what
past-
did I do?
You got to give us a woo.
Woo!
Yeah.
But yeah, she was just like, everyone, I'm so sorry. And no one held it against her. Everyone was happy to see her. Even Isidro was like, show off your moves. Like,
Yeah.
I heard you're a fighter. Like, it was just
And
so
she's like, I
amazing.
might be a little rusty.
Yeah.
Oh, but then, yeah, she murdered everybody. Like, she did such a good job.
Yeah, she killed it. She killed it. And she wakes up and then she's like, oh, you're ready to see guts? Like, are you so excited? And she like tries to tear up, and I was like, oh, here we go. Yes, we're finally getting it. And then she gets this cute new outfit, and she's like walking, and we get that beautiful page of like her walking to guts, and you think like, this is it. Like, this is what I've been waiting for.
Because I was expecting it to be like, oh, you're going to see that person you want to see? I was like, it's going to be Griffith.
That's what I thought too. Because there's that little moment of dialogue. I don't know if we focused on it enough or even mentioned it at all, but when little Chibi Casca, when they're about to approach reach the final fragment, she says like, there's someone I want to see. I want to see them or whatever. And it could be either Griffith, it could be Guts, or it could be Guts Jr.
I expected Griffith, Guts Jr., and then I didn't think Guts at all.
I didn't think Guts at all either.
By the way, Megan wrote this down. I think we almost. What were the guys doing this whole while they're in the dream realm?
Boys got a flower viewing party. Boys' night.
They're just chilling.
They were bonding. They were burying their souls.
They were burying their souls. They were getting drunk. They're like, "You're drunk, huh?" And they're like, "No, maybe." I was like, "What are you guys doing?"
It was crazy.
It was so cute.
It was
like
awesome.
boys' night. It was so adorable.
I mean, Serpico told Guts, and he has this, like, he says it in like a super cute way. Too, he's like, I just feel comfortable enough with my, my comrades to tell them how I really feel or to express my true feelings or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And it was just like him saying like, I like hanging out with you guys.
Roderick's there.
Roderick was there.
Just one of the boys.
Just shooting the shit.
So cool.
Shooting the shit.
Roderick's like, I hope I either die on the sea or I die, in a woman.
Yeah, they're like, are you drunk?
Yeah, Roderick's awesome.
Roderick's sick.
Yeah. Maybe we get a Morta and a Roderick spin-off.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes. Maybe. Well,
that'd be sick.
That'd be awesome. We got to work on it.
Yeah.
But it was really cool to see that too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of, again, like I think this is such a really, and I don't know if it does feel like this story, obviously, what happened, very unfortunate, but it does feel like the story was gearing up to end. Like it was already kind of ending. But at the same time, there are things, and we talk about, like, it does feel like it could have kept going. It could have kept going. But it also felt like it was ending. But as an end, it did feel like it was not only, tying everything up so nicely, but it was also just really, really, really like shining a light on like everything that had happened before.
Now, I know that eventually Casca sees Griffith, but is right when she's like, I know who I want to see. Is that when we cut to what Griffiths has been doing?
No.
I think we cut after the scream.
Yeah, the scream.
We cut after the scream.
Yeah. Where she's like walking to Guts, and you're like, this is
like,
so amazing. And then
nice
no.
Yeah.
I do like the just seeing what causes it though, which is like whenever she looks at him, she sees every monster from like the eclipse.
Well, the first time it happened, and it happens again later, but the first time it happened, she sees Guts, the eclipse, the monsters, and she sees like Griffith's emaciated, body. The second time, she's like talking to him, but she's not looking at him, and he's behind a tree.
That was the worst.
Yeah.
Because that's when she's like showing off, like, yeah, I'm back.
Yeah.
Hey, Guts, can we meet? He's like, no, it's fine. I'll just stand by the side of the tree.
Yeah, she's like, come on, blah, 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 blah. Like, he reminds me, he's so resourceful.
What's the worst
like
that could
Judeo
happen?
or whatever? Judeo.
Yeah.
And she like remembers every horrible thing that happened to her comrades.
His face. He's just staring at her, and she's looking at him in fear, and he's just like, this hurts more than you know.
Yeah. His face is like, fuck, like I'm causing this.
Just the fact that they were speaking words to each other made me cry my eyes out. Like, how long have they not? How long has it been since they've been able to say words? For her to be able to say his name? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, for her to understand it, and for her to.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I saw people talk about in the Discord too, which is like when you see like a scene from Casca's memory talking to Guts, and he's like, "Oh, you're such a smooth talker." And you see like, oh, when we saw it, Guts is sort of like he's like barely drawn. And then when it's shown from Casca's perspective, he's all detailed. So when it was from Guts' perspective, like Casca gets all the detail. And then when it's from Casca's perspective, he's all like super detailed and like with all the stars and bells on him to make him look cute.
Interesting.
Yeah.
To make him look cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His eyes were definitely like much bigger.
Oh yeah, much bigger, dreamier.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the facial expressions too, the subtlety and the pain. And also, yeah, to
can't.
see them talking again, to see them interacting again. Weird. It was a
Casca's so
weird feeling.
cool.
She's awesome, dude. She gets her, like we said, she gets her haircut. She gets her new fighting outfit.
Yeah.
Or an outfit that suits her more.
Yeah. So great. And
yeah.
to see, she's like, be my sparring partner, Miss Casca. Like, you're the best because it's too strong for me. I was like, look at that. They're finally meeting Casca for Casca.
The real Casca, yeah.
It was when I think when they were fighting the Scarecrows, but you see Isidro fighting, and it like went past the point of like, oh, he's learning, to now it's just like, yeah, he's like he's a fighter now.
Yeah.
He's capable.
He went through all that, and
yeah,
there you go. Do you see him like doing it?
Yeah, like, which I don't know, which does make me wonder. A lot of it makes me wonder, like, was this the end of an arc, or was this always going to be the end of the story?
I could kind of see if the Mage Island and the Elf Kingdom were kind of merged together. I mean, they may have literally been in the story.
Yeah.
But, yeah, because it is like, yeah, there's a Caesar, you see him like doing all this, which is cool, because you're like, yeah, that's kind of the end of his journey there.
Yeah.
Now he just has to get bigger,
Yeah.
which that's all we all have to do.
I mean, oh, yeah, but, you know, you can only take so many things. What? So anyway.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
It's here that it cuts back.
I couldn't tell you.
It cuts back to Griffith at the PTA meeting.
At the PTA meeting, the after school PTA meeting, PTA board.
Talking about the kids.
Talking about the kids, talking about the
PTA,
future.
The A can be apostle.
Right.
Pigeon.
Pigeon?
He's got
apostle.
The pigeon apostle.
So what's the T?
T, yeah.
Pigeon.
Oh, man. I was going to say like talisman, but what is, because they draw the talisman on the brand, but that's, come on, guys.
It's right. There's no T's. I mean,
there's no T's.
Tyrant?
Pigeon.
Demon.
Time.
Lords.
It's pigeon time.
It's pigeon time. Oh, his famous catchphrase.
Yes. It's pigeon time,
bitch.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's got to have the A at the end.
It's pigeon time. Apostles.
Yeah.
Pigeon time apostles.
And that's yeah, because that's when the apostles meet to have pigeon time, which is there's meeting. So that's a PTA. We did it.
And I think I can't remember if it was right before the budget meeting or right after. I think it might have been before, but also
that's so funny to say, because it's like that's exact after all that with Guts and Casca. We cut to a meeting about the deficit.
Oh, right. So it is a little bit before, but we just do get another like chapter or 2 chapters of just sort of like pages without dialogue of one more battle. The new Band of the Hawk.
Oh, yeah. That was sweet. That was sweet.
These giants. And really, it's a beautiful couple of chapters, but it's really no dialogue. It's just all just the fight happening. And we're just seeing how everybody's like lifting Griffith up, how Griffith isn't really doing jack shit. He's just like there as a figurehead and everything. And maybe Femto could carry his own weight, but like everybody's just like he is the one who has to get the final, killing blow in the eye, but he got lifted up by Zod to be able to do it. He's just like, everybody's carrying his weight. Not that whatever. Anyway, you see that, but it was all so that he could take control of what looks like Stonehenge and use it as a gateway to ride the World Tree's branches, this fissure through time and space. It's kind of like the Bifrost a little bit.
What's that?
It's from Thor. It's how they transport themselves from,
Viking mythology.
Well, I was speaking of Thor from Viking mythology.
Oh.
You were thinking of Marvel Thor? I tried to flip it.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You could have gotten away with it.
Yeah, really.
You could have done it.
Really.
I'm surprised how many stories are like centered around like a tree. Like in every culture. Fire Punch.
It represents life.
Another thing. A video game, Sekiro, which now I think that might be because more. Sekiro does a lot of Berserk references.
Really?
You get a fake arm that you can get a flamethrower that shoots. Yeah.
Once you get the fake arm and you can't have a fake arm and a tree. You got to pick one.
What? That's the thing is if you have a fake arm and a tree, you're now Berserk.
Agni, did kind of have one. The flame covering like half of his whole face was on fire, huh?
No, half of it wasn't.
Half of Guts is, he has one eye.
Oh, wow. You know what? That actually worked. I had no faith in that one, but that's actually working.
Maybe. Who knows?
Spoilers for Fire Punch. He gets set on fire.
Yeah. Be careful. But yeah, so that was really cool. And you see the battle and you see Griffith as the figurehead, and we get to see, Sonya and you know everybody showing up.
Wait,
yeah. This
So
is
that sort of montage happens, and then the PTA.
Did
happens.
we finish talking about the World Tree? I mean, we went on just like actually you were
Oh,
in the
go
middle,
ahead,
you
go
were
ahead.
in the middle of explaining it.
Oh, just sort of like the how it just they ride the World Tree, and it's connecting and it's bleeding into the astral and the physical, and they're able to like similar like the Bifrost from Norse
mythology. Yes.
Yeah. You know, it's able to transport them. It's sort of like, you know, through space and time. They're able. It sort of warps around.
I think like someone mentioned like the tree, like they're not branches, they're fissures.
Fissures, yeah.
So like you know, it looks like a tree. That's what we call it. That you know. But those are like each one's a fissure in reality, and he's riding the waves of time.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and then everybody else is getting to do that too, and they're like, "This is awesome."
This rules. I'm so glad we joined up with Griffith.
Yeah, and they're literally talking to each other like, "Yeah, I'm so glad that I'm here with Griffith." Like I doubted it at first. I doubted him, but now, I mean, I'm riding in the sky.
Yeah, remember when we were just like these demon men that were, you know, assaulting, you know, innocent people and having them and, you know, doing horrible things to them?
Yeah.
Man, who would have thought? If you told me I would have gone from having like 30 women locked up in a basement to here, I would have never believed you.
Yeah, they say sky's the limit, but with Griffith, you know, he means it.
He means the sky tree.
The sky tree's the limit.
The sky tree's the limit. It was really cool, and they're trying to set up more portals and everything like that, or more, you know, ride more fissures throughout time and space. They're using it as a military asset. Also, Sonya says that they can't even use it as a military sort of asset unless Griffith or her are leading, because it is similar and has similar properties that the stones that Elfhelm had. So it is designed to throw off other people from being able to use it. But anyway, then's the PTA meeting, which is just a whole chapter about money and homeless kids and education.
Charlotte being like, I think we should open up an orphanage. And they're going to be like, oh, we don't have the budget for it. Oh, I guess that's it then. And Griffith goes, no, I think we should do it anyway.
And she's like,
yeah. He's like, no,
and then she's like, what are you doing after this meeting, Griffith?
Why did she ask him like that?
Because what they do.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, aren't they like together?
I mean,
I
she's
think
always away.
I think that's like a power move to pull if you're at a meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Just a reminder to people.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Sonya got a little hurt.
Sonya's always jealous.
She was like, we could all hang out. And the guy like, puts her in a chokehold.
I was like, Sonya, chill, dude. She's like, we could all do something afterwards. I'm like, okay, Sonya.
Sonya, chill out. Dude, Griffith's theme song is Toot It and Boot It. Does this?
Oh, yeah, this guy.
Toot It
this,
and Boot It?
Yeah.
Have you ever sung? Have you ever heard? Have you ever sung?
Have you ever songed before?
Have you ever songed? That sounds dirty for some reason.
Have you ever heard this song?
I think it is.
Maybe.
Toot It and Boot It?
No, that's why.
Met her at the club. Said,
Why?
what's up?
Yeah.
Take her to the crib.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Toot it and boot
Toot
it.
it
You
and
hit it and
boot
quit
it.
it.
You hit it and quit it. Toot it and boot it. He's always like
No, I never heard
tooting
of
it
that.
and then booting. He's
Any
like,
song
bye.
that starts with
Yeah.
"at the club," you should know. I've never heard of that.
Oh.
Yeah. Because he was too busy dancing at the club.
Dancing at the club to listen to songs about the
listen to the
club.
lyrics,
yeah. You live the lifestyle. Don't listen
Right.
to the music.
Exactly.
Yes.
But yeah, dude, he's in the window, shirtless after everything, and then he's like, I gotta go. And then he just dips.
I really like that because at least the way I interpret it was the reason he had to go was he was about to become Guts Jr.
Oh.
I thought it was what we were given was a depiction of him being aware that like
Don't we see him after?
But that's what I'm saying. This could give Cody, this could like strengthen his argument. We see the Moonlight Child later. Maybe.
No, do we see Griffith later after this chapter?
I don't
at all.
I don't recall.
Not at all. No.
Not at all.
That was the last I've seen.
And it was a full moon.
Yeah. So it kind of led, I don't believe this theory, but it gave me this impression a little bit that like Guts might be pretending to be Guts or Griffith might be pretending to be Guts Jr. Or like that was just a kind of idea. But what I believe is happening is he's aware at a full moon, I just
lose control.
And I'm going to be, he's kind of like a werewolf if the werewolf became someone who wasn't like a rapist. So
right. He's a moonlight wolf.
Yes.
Well, I guess that's what all werewolves are. right. Give me a second.
Yeah, he's like a werewolf that's like connected to the moon.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But like he's a kid though.
And his life is a nightmare.
Yes. Yeah, literally.
Moonlight Were Kid.
Moonlight Were Kid. I like it.
So
I like it a lot.
Kind of the whole, just the highlight I got from what maybe the last time I've seen him is he's like, I share this body and I like arrange my life around. I have to go now.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe he's able to like see what's happened. So he has been able to like, I think Guts Jr. is probably in control, but Griffith might be riding back seat and he gets to check in on them every time he transforms. And that's part of his plans too.
I don't like that though.
Which would explain why Zod came in and basically helped them, even though that wasn't the plan.
Mm-hmm.
They were awfully like eager to like take advantage of it. Zod comes in with the Moonchild around, able to help exactly when Guts needed help.
The Moonchild then would be also riding backseat during Griffith.
Yes,
all of Griffith's stuff. So he would have inside information to everything that's happening and meeting them on the literal Elfhelm, the island with the most magical people and most magic around. I think someone's going to be able to do something. Maybe similar to how they were able to save Casca. Maybe they're going to separate them. Maybe they're going to.
So if there was a way for them to ever fight against Griffith, it would be the fact that this being may possibly have insight into everything he's done, including his plans. That like he has to share a consciousness with.
Cody, you're on to something, dude.
Good.
This is literally me with the flashback chapter. No, because we talked about this in the last episode, how Griffith is off doing his own thing at Falconia, and he seems so far away. I mean, now he's got the Bifrost basically to get him wherever he needs to be, and they kind of set that up as a way for him to get to Elfhelm or wherever, but in an instant. But how much more convenient would it be if, yes, at the full moon, the Moonlight Child takes over, Griffith goes essentially, in essence, to them, right to them. And because the other mages there are able to like do something, maybe they're able to defeat Griffith right then and right there, separate them.
Yeah, because Griffith's ability to be in the physical realm is dependent on Guts Jr.'s aspect. So if they could split him there, it would kind of be like, well, now it would only be Femto, I guess, left. But then, it's like, oh, now he's going to be trapped in the middle of the Elf realm, surrounded by all of his enemies.
Yeah, dude. On their they have home court advantage.
Yes.
Yeah. That. And do you think, again, even if it's a longer chapter, though, I just don't
because now I think
you run the risk of it being anticlimactic if it's just like separated. Griffith dies.
Yeah,
in one chapter.
It's like
I don't.
Now
that'd be crazy.
Like the idea of them being able to fight and defeat in one chapter doesn't sound like it takes much like explanation anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't think they would do that. I keep just thinking they'll get to the start of it and being like, where it can go from here. But I can see them being like, oh, by the way, we've been studying the Moonchild.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have a plan, and it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
But hear me out, and then
I think you're onto something, dude, and I think Griffith might have just walked right in their front door. But that is at the end of the 363rd chapter. We're almost there. We're not there yet. After all that happens, it cuts back again to Elfhelm, and we get a lot of Skull Knight backstory confirmed.
Which means for sure, when people commented his name, for the most part, they were not spoiled early. But when people commented his name, they spoiled the second to last chapter.
Yeah, I know. That was pretty crazy.
It's
like, even if it's like alluded to, like, don't say it.
I mean, it is heavily alluded to, but even still, just in case, like,
why?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Yeah, and we were on like the third volume. Like, his name's this. He was the king of this. I'm like, oh, I guess that's gonna come up soon.
Yeah.
Not be like the second to last thing I see.
Yeah. Crazy. But we basically do get confirmation that he was the king, and now
I do like he avoids mentioning his mess up. He's like,
oh yeah,
doesn't even bring up that. He's just like, I've returned, and like, how'd it go? Oh, I never even ran into him.
Yeah.
I couldn't. No, he like flew away, and
we just weren't on like the same. Like, I think the schedule was off.
Yeah,
you guys set me up.
And it's like I don't even think this sword does anything.
No, I think it's defective.
Because it for sure doesn't. I don't think it can even. Like the plan of it opening, it doesn't make any sense when I think about it.
No, it's stupid.
Yeah.
So I just thought I shouldn't try it all.
Yeah.
That way, just like if anything happened, like Guts, if I didn't want to be responsible.
Your seal. Oh, Yeah, your brand. Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, it's probably.
Oh, you have the brand.
Well, yeah, the brand.
I forgot. It interferes with the
like a sacrifice with the behel. I mean, I should have known. Think.
I feel stupid. I feel dumb.
They should call me the thick skull tonight.
The thick skull.
I completely spaced.
Well, but actually, Gus, then it's your fault.
Yeah, it's probably your fault. And, ooh, if I ever see Griffith, it's over though.
Yeah.
It's over, dude.
Don't feel too bad though. It's not like it's your fault. But
yeah, I mean, you know,
don't feel bad about it.
We all make mistakes. I mean, I have like this whole plan set up though. So
yeah. Good thing I have a plan B. You're lucky. I have a plan B.
That could have been bad.
That could have been real bad. But anyway, Guts, what brings you here? And Guts is like, okay,
this guy keeps following me around.
But he gets there and he tells him, you know, another, you know, prophecy or whatever. And Guts kind of has this moment of,
I really like
that. He's like, looks like all that shit you were spouting the whole time. You were wrong. I'm here. I made it. It was a little hard, you know, but I made it. You know?
Like, well, you're doing more cryptic shit. I don't know.
Yeah. It was a really cool moment. And then I always forget this guy's name, but Gedfrig even comes back and he's like, oh, you guys know each other? Like, it's just a really cool moment. And he's like, let's go meet. And then this is the other guy's name. Let's go meet the forger of the Berserker armor and the forger of the Skull Knight's
dwarf
armor.
He was blacksmith.
He was a dwarf blacksmith. I had his name written down and I tried to circle all the names, but I can't find it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Also, go ahead.
I never. This only matters if you play Dark Souls, but there's a blacksmith that shows up in every single game, which is like a big deal because the games take place in like a cycle of time, and he looks exactly like this guy.
Oh.
And I never made that connection before.
It was Hanar. Hanar is his name. And also, while this is all happening, while they're having their meeting, and they're like, "Oh yeah, let's go hang out with Hanar. Let's go like talk to him about sort of the armor." And Skull Knight's like, "Yeah, I could probably get some things like fixed up too." It cuts like to Shirke, and Shirke's like learning how to fly on a broom, and her and Farnese had a badass moment where they're just like, "Let's just kind of see kind of what you guys can do. Like you guys didn't train properly under the magical art, so let's just see." And they both like draw no circles. They both use no. Like, you know, they don't use talisman or whatever, or draw circles, or they just basically, they're doing it in their head. You know, they're not showing their work. They're just like out doing fucking algebra in their mind, you know?
Yeah, there's a big difference between casting a fire spell in like a study room and casting it at a troll that has plans.
Exactly. And yeah, in a short amount of time when your life's in danger, and they're both able to like knock the socks off of everybody there, and really kind of put them in their place. But it's funny because then when Shirke learns to fly, that's hard for her. She's like, well, I'm good at this, but I've never done this. I'm kind of bad.
Well, she's like, because in the astral realm, I'm not gonna die. I could die. I could fall and die.
Yeah, because Morta just comes and picks her up and takes her.
Is she parks her broom parallel?
Yeah,
yeah.
You'd think they would have done that in Harry Potter at some point.
I know.
It's a cool move.
Double broom move.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't see Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay. So yeah, scoops him up. Then they see the three talking, and the Morta's like, let's go follow Skull Knight, you know, the Guru and Guts. Let's go follow them and see where they're going. They go into like the depths, the dark ravine of Elfhelm, and they come across like her mentor teacher figure.
Yeah.
Who's like this, like, who's Granny Vol, who's this like scary looking witch who's like evil.
This is the
looks evil.
This is the third person who goes like, I knew your master, and then she goes like, how could you have known?
Yeah, she's like, what?
Huh?
Every time it gets crazier and crazier.
He's like, she was here. Your master used to be here.
Yeah.
She moved.
Yeah.
He's like, how did everyone here used to know her?
Yeah.
It blows her mind.
It's
really
not
even like confusing. She's like, how could this be?
Mistress never told me that she knew people.
She never had friends.
She never said she was from somewhere.
Oh my God. It is a cool moment though, because as they're like flying away, Granny Vol or whatever says, I guess, you know, this is the apprentice of the mistress, and the Skull Knight has his boy with the brand. Like, I guess the ramblings of those two is finally starting to come true or something like that. Like all of those words they were saying, all those things, all their talk is like occurring. So it is this like really cool thing that makes me again think like, what? Like in the last chapter, like, because there's also, we learn that the only reason her mistress left was because she committed some sort of taboo act. So the thing is, we have to figure out what the taboo act is for sure. We have to figure out what's going on with Griffith. We have to figure out what's going on with the Moonchild. We have to figure out, I mean, that's, I guess, pretty much it. But
taboo act would probably involve the Skull Knight if I am catching the vibe of this guy.
Yeah.
I think the taboo act is
she got her hands on his fetishes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Getting some skull.
Oh, that was good.
Wow. In the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And that's why they call it the Skull Knight.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to do it, but you have to. You know, bad. It's causality.
It's causality.
Yeah. The guy Hanar, the forger of the armor, they go to him and he's able to like he activates the berserker armor and he's like hits it with a hammer and says that one of his blacksmith hammers and says that he's gonna use the suit to like show Guts a memory. And it is obviously confirmed. It's heavily implied, but confirmed that this is for sure the same armor. Anyway, I think it was even confirmed actually before. Yeah, that the Skull Knight had worn it. Yeah. And so we get to see more of his past, and we get to see that, he was a king who, and this is what I think the Skull Knight is. And of course, it's also very obvious that the Skull Knight is a parallel, is Guts if he doesn't make the right choice. The Skull Knight is Guts if Guts chooses to go after Griffith and
if he lost Casca.
Yeah.
And if he lost
on
Casca.
The eclipse.
Yeah, and if he lost Casca. But even later, like, the guru tells him, like, you need to, now is the time where you decide what you do with that fury. Like, you know, do you go after this guy or do you just sort of like use it to like, I don't know, like keep you alive or here or with the one people you care about or something like that. But anyway, yeah, because what we see in the Skull Knight even says something about it. Like, you know, we see that, you know, he was in love with this woman and this woman looks a lot like, what was her name again?
Danaan.
Yeah, she looks a lot like her, but also kind of a little like Griffith in a weird way.
The locks.
I just think she's beautiful.
Well, Griffith, horrible person, beautiful guy.
Beautiful, yeah.
Griff-esque.
Griff-esque.
She's a little Griff-esque.
She's a Griff-esque. And that she died, yeah. And there was another eclipse, even like way, like, it makes you think that this Skull Knight obviously has been alive for thousands and thousands and thousands of years because
and then there's that line about the suit, like he's like, it's cool, it keeps me young. You're like, no, you're like rattling in there, and it's like, if you took the suit off, would it just be like an emaciated skeleton? Yeah,
well, he's not even human anymore. Like the way that I see it is also because like in that panel of the God Hand that shows the God Hand too, like it's a completely different God Hand. There's only one member, the Mars Attacks God Hand member is the only one there. The other four are completely different. So it makes me think that like Femto and all the God Hand members that we know, like they are not interchangeable, but like they can be defeated or overthrown.
And then someone has to take their place. So maybe they just lost or maybe the Skull Knight did take out the fifth God Hand, and then they're like, we need a new member, and I know just the guy.
I got just the guy. Maybe it was just weird seeing like a different God Hand, but I also think that like, so when he kind of comes to and he realizes, and everybody's like, because Shirke, you know, possesses him, and she says, oh my God, that kind of looks like Danaan or whatever, and Skull Knight goes to the mausoleum and like sees her grave or whatever, and Danaan comes out and talks to him. She tries to like caress him or she tries to say something to him. And he has a line where he basically says something like, he's like, I think I wrote it down. He's like, I am a portent of doom, the remnant of a grudge. My aim is ever singular. So I wrote this down too. Like, I feel like the Skull Knight isn't human at all. Like what he is he's like the physical embodiment or the physical manifestation of the rage he felt as a human. Like
his spirit has become his ideal.
Sort yeah, like I think you're picking up what I'm putting down. It's just that like this revenge and everything, because so many people throughout the series have said like he's not human, he's lost his humanity. This is what happened to you. So when Danaan, if that is who his loved one was, then when she comes to him and she's like trying to give him flowers and stuff, and he's sort of like a robot. He's sort of just like, I am a portent of evil, and I am blah blah blah. Like he's just like, there's nothing
Yeah, she's like,
there.
okay,
No,
well,
he
can we
doesn't
get
feel
something
it.
to drink?
Yeah.
I am a portent of evil.
I am a portent of evil. Doom will follow me. Yeah.
Do you want to watch a movie?
Yeah. Just tell me what you want.
I'm a portent of evil. You knew this
Let me
when
do
you
this.
met me.
The remnant of a grudge. My aim is ever singular, and you know that. So yeah, it makes me think that he is just the embodiment of that, and there's just nothing else there. Like he's literally singular, one track mind. He is that and only that, and that is because of the suit. That is because of what the armor has done to him. That is because of what his quest for revenge has done to him, and that's why even though his loved one may or may not be Danan right in front of him, he's like, I just causality. He's just like causality. He's just. It's kind of tragic.
Yeah, in his desire for revenge, he can't even appreciate the things that he did it for.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, also, if the Elf Island time is like convoluted, it would explain why he only pops up every now and then. If he he goes back to the Elf Island, he could just be like, "Oh, I need to go do this," and like, yeah, it's been like 5 years. God, shit.
Yeah, he's like, fuck, damn it. There's a Doctor Who episode like that.
What's it called?
Girl in the Fireplace. You probably saw it if you saw David Tennant's season.
I saw the Bad Wolf arc.
Okay, then you didn't see it. But it's a fantastic episode. Girl in the Fireplace.
Wait a minute, but there was an episode we saw where something like that.
Oh, there
also
was a
happened.
different. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. That was a later season, different Doctor, but similar.
That was the spooky ghost episode.
Listen.
Listen.
Yeah, it was called Listen. Peter Capaldi, great episode, great Doctor. Anyway, so also, yeah, we also learned, like, they also throw the term, that's what I was trying to say at the beginning of the episode, Damon. You know how you say it, Cody? Damon, for sure?
I know, because that's the end boss of Dragon's Dogma.
Hey.
It's the end boss of Dragon's Dogma. See, I've been muttering whenever I make references, but I found out I do it too much, so I'm gonna...
People are like, huh?
I'm like,
but there are people who are were human and now have like transcended and are able to like walk between and live in
like the Ghost Rider.
Like the Ghost Rider. Yeah. And like the Mistress and like.
And the Doctor?
No. Good try. Nice try.
That was worth a shot.
But yeah, so many cool things. The Skull Knight has his moment, and then we find out, that Flora had that something, the Mistress did something taboo. We don't know what that is. Then it cuts back to like, we're really at the end here. It cuts back to, there's just like this crazy chapter where just like Isidro is just like tying all the witches' robes up.
Yeah, the pumpkin wrap.
Yeah.
Is what he calls it, because they have like pumpkin like underwear.
Yeah.
Because they're big, and he's like, pumpkin wrap. He's just causing mayhem. He's bored, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. That was fun. I guess.
Yeah, it was funny. It was cute.
And Isma is also like, yeah, I'm like, she's like drunk. She's like, I'm a mermaid, by the way. And she's like, look at the tail.
Underwear. Because she's like, oh, there goes my underwear.
Oh yeah, that's when they were partying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
Well, even right here, she like comes back. She's like, I befriended a Kelpie, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, that thing is so dangerous. And she's like, man, he's my friend. And they're just having fun.
They're having a good time.
Yeah, it's cool to see. But again, like, for a very unfortunate situation, I'm sure Mira didn't plan it that way. But knowing that it's like the second to last chapter, it does feel like, it just feels like more should be happening. Again, extenuating circumstances, tragedy happens, things happen that you can't plan for.
I was surprised by how much I didn't feel that way.
It was just that chapter.
Oh, okay.
Just that chapter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Because that's technically that chapter is technically the second to last chapter.
Oh, yeah.
Where Isidro's tying up people by their ropes, and that's the second to last chapter. And you're kind of like, oh, okay, that's a lot of time that you're spending. You really want to get that Isidro thing across.
He's still pulling pranks.
He's a rapscallion.
Hell yeah.
But it ends. Then we find out. Obviously, they had that talk about what Guts has to do with his fury. He looks in. He sees like Casca and Farnese, and he's like really having to decide. He's had that whole interaction with the Skull Knight. All these things answered, all these questions answered, and he's standing there, and the Moon Child, Guts Jr.
Yeah.
That's what I forgot.
Up.
It's never been confirmed that it's Guts Jr.
Never
We always just called him Guts Jr.
Him. It's him.
And
it's never been confirmed.
I never realized that. We were all like, "That's clearly Guts Jr." And then like they're speculating it, and then like I thought they said that, And I realized they never.
Well, I think it's so
No.
obvious just because of all the like the looks that they give, like Casca gives him, and he gives Guts, and Guts like it's so. And then we haven't
And
seen.
it looks like them.
Yeah.
Like
looks
their
that.
kid like
And we
would
haven't
look like
seen
that.
Guts Jr. in that other embryo form.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Guts Jr. the embryo form would show up and do the same thing that the Moonlight Child.
Yeah.
is doing.
Exactly.
But he's there in all of his glory. And
So
yeah.
right last time we see Griffith, he's like, I gotta go. And then
Yeah.
Gus Jr.
because
pops
he
up.
does say it in a way. Griffith does say it in a way where he's like, "I have to go," or "Oh, it's like it's coming or it's,
It's
happening. It's time." He says something like that, and then
Mhm.
because it's him in the window, lightning striking, and then he's gone.
Mhm.
So it is kind of like, oh. Now that you say
Hmm.
that, that's I think exactly what's happening.
Mhm.
So he's aware of it, which has a lot of implications.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's pretty much everything that happens. We only have the
Oh
last
my
chapter to go.
God.
I know we kind of sped through it. We're going to give, again, all of our feelings on the series as a whole in the live. The live is going to be really a tribute to the series. It's where we're really going to slow things down, breathe, really appreciate, celebrate it, and just really just look back on all of it and discuss all of it fondly. Have a good time, have a laugh. But at the end of this episode here, what were your feelings on everything? And I really think that this is the episode where we should make, because we have to sort of deal with what happens in the live. We can't hide behind editing. Not that we ever do. But we should make predictions. And then we have to see how like what comes to fruition live.
To my memory, the last chapter was the one that was written by the assistants.
Or at least drawn. I don't know 100% sure if it was written by them or if it was some sort of manuscript that maybe Miura had left behind and then they...
Because I've seen a lot of like stories where the author was like, I'm dying, so they leave like notes.
Yeah.
and stuff.
Oda has apparently, and this is sinister, it has in his contract, like has the ending of One Piece written in somewhere. And if he dies, they can go get the manuscript.
It's the One Pieces at the bottom of the ocean.
They just have to find
And Luffy falls.
My prediction is that because they were talking about using or practicing the magic of mending a soul.
Mm.
So I have a feeling that Shirke, I forget her name, Dadan, and Farnese are gonna like figure out how to do that. They're gonna get Casca back in, back in shape.
Oh, that's another thing that needs to be resolved.
Yeah, because she's
Casca's
still
heart needs to be...
her heart, her soul, and then maybe something with Guts Jr. Maybe they'll have the realization of who Guts Jr. is, Moonlight Child, and then that's all I really need. That's all I really need.
Again, dude,
Yeah.
so much.
I don't expect anything to be resolved with Griffith.
Mm-hmm.
There is a quick way they could. But I don't even view that as being the point of the story anymore. So it's like, yeah, Casca's healing. And then I don't think Guts even cares about revenge anymore.
Yeah, I don't think
Mhm.
Guts cares about revenge. So I almost don't. Again, it would be so simple for them to do that, where they separate the Moonlight Child from Griffith. Maybe Griffith is able to still go on and do whatever he's doing and live in Falcone, but maybe now he's not immortal anymore. I don't know. Maybe
He loses, he can't hide the femto persona. Everyone goes like, he loses the glamour effect, and everyone goes,
Yeah.
oh my god, he's a pigeon. And
he's a bitch.
He was a
bitch.
it's the fabled pigeon bitch. Griffith was him the whole
No
time.
way.
He was the pigeon bitch of old.
But what if he does get separated and he could just he just like ages like a normal human and just like still goes off to rule
And he
then
sacrifices his kingdom for another shot at
oh,
power?
maybe.
And
That's
then
what
he
I
just-
think all this was.
I just-
Gathering all these people up in one place.
Oh, to sacrifice them again for
because
something.
they all love him.
Well, he wouldn't
And he
even.
does
Oh.
care about them
He
to a certain degree.
sacrifices his whole kingdom, and it just leaves a brand
on the
of
world,
fire in the middle, just like with the Skull Knight.
on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
Planet Earth is a sacrifice. Wow.
Ye- yeah, yeah, man.
The
Wow.
planet Earth is
Wow. I don't know, dude. I just think that there are too many loose ends to tie up. I care about, like you said, what happens to Casca's heart, which I think will definitely be tied up. I'm starting to lean towards the side that there won't be any resolution with Griffith, or that the Moonlight Child they'll at least find out who he is,
Mm.
and they'll at least have a moment with him.
Mhm.
And Guts and Casca will get to be together, and she won't freak out. They'll definitely be able to have that moment. But then we also got what about the taboo? You think that they're just going to leave that in the air?
Well, I don't think that's like a huge story.
Yeah, you're right. That could be left a mystery, and then people will always wonder or
And
speculate.
it's like,
and
we all know what
theorize.
happened.
We all know what it was.
They got freaky.
Well, I mean, he was with the other girl, though.
Exactly.
Oh, the
Taboo.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't
right.
mean cool things.
It's a fun game. You ever played it?
Taboo.
It's witches
Yeah.
before
Hose.
hoes.
Wow. Witches before woes.
It's
Rose.
not-
Witches before
Bitches. What are you guys talking about?
bitches.
It's bitches.
So Skull
before
Knight's a
hoes.
bitch then.
Witches before bitches.
But Skull Knight's a bitch then.
Well, that's what the witches would tell each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, Skull
All
Knight
right,
bitch.
witches before bitches. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got it. Yeah, that's how that.
Guys can be bitches too.
Of
Of
course.
course.
No, 100%. I mean, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Skulls can be bitches.
anything can be a bitch. Sometimes I look at the dishes and I'm like, look at these fucking bitches.
Is there an undead term that can rhyme with itch? Witches before liches.
Okay, yeah, cool.
A
A lich,
lich?
like a lich king. Yeah.
A lich is an undead.
like
like
beast.
it's a lich is like a evil sorcerer, right? Or
Well,
a undead
evil
sorcerer.
isn't necessarily a part of it.
Well,
It
yeah,
just
yeah.
means a resurrected, being using magic, which is
Using
what the
ma-
Skull Knight is.
But they are usually a lich is usually a magical, like they're trained in magic or they're
like a sorcerer could become a lich because he's like in tune with magic and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. You
It's not-
can't just be undead and then
So
come back
you
to life and
just-
you're a lich. You have to,
Yeah, you replace a W with an L.
Yeah.
You replace a W with an L. And that's what I call a win-lose.
Right, yeah. But I was like, it was really amping up.
Yeah.
And I was really waiting for that big finale.
Yeah.
Which
Sorry.
it did kind of have,
Yeah.
but it just, I mean, it wasn't witches before
Yeah.
witches.
Yeah. I know.
You
Yeah.
Which that was great.
Yeah, that was really good.
I have so many thoughts. I have so many feelings. This might seem a little anticlimactic, but I'm, saving my emotionally, heartfelt, long-winded speech about how amazing this series is and how much it meant to me until that live. I will say that I'm so excited and I'm looking forward to so much finishing this. I mean, I know we say bittersweet, but it's almost something I have to finish, like the sooner the better. Like there is that thing of like once you finish it, it's over, but I would rather just know it in its totality than to just still have one piece missing. And I just want to finish it, and I want to talk about it, and I want to talk about it with you guys, and I want to talk about it with you guys. I just can't even. I don't even know. Like I don't think they're gonna tie up all the ends. I can't wait to see how it is. It doesn't feel real, but it's real, and here we are.
Do we want to take bets on if Griffith is dealt with by the end?
Okay, that's a good.
I don't think he will.
I'm going to vote that he will be, just because there's the opportunity has been brought up of like now that his form is stuck in the Elf Kingdom that could lead to. So I'm gonna bet on that being a part of it.
Megan, what do you think?
I don't think so.
So Cody,
just bet
I'm writing it down because I'm
against.
holding us to it, and we're gonna talk about it on the live. Cody says, so is Griffith gonna get dealt with? You say yes.
Yes.
Cody says yes. Megan says no. Is Griffith going to get dealt with? I'm gonna have to say yes. How can he not get dealt with? But I do think that someone needs to say no, because I think you also could be right.
I just don't see
that's how her vote works.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, but I also think there's a lot of credence to that answer being the right answer. I just didn't choose it.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I personally, me,
You
I
wanna
didn't.
say
yeah,
yes.
that's how your vote works.
Yeah, but
And
I
then
do
that's how
think-
her vote
Mine's
works.
no.
And yours is yes.
right. But also, like, she could have voted.
She didn't have to say no.
She didn't have to say no. She chose to say no. But that could have been a dumb choice. It's not though.
Wow.
It could have been.
What are you doing?
It could have been.
Another attack.
It could have been, but it's not.
We'll see, won't we?
I'm just saying it's not.
I don't even want to be on your side anymore.
I know.
I
Say no.
Now I kind of
no.
want to vote no.
You want to change it?
No, because I believe that it's going to happen.
Okay, well, I believe that it's going to happen too.
Oh,
But
well,
I
you get to
also-
say. Well, someone should also say yes.
But I also believe that. Okay, yeah, yeah, and I'm glad that there's 2 people saying yes and there's 1 person saying no because everybody's represented.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good
that's
God.
all that really matters. Equal representation for the
Mhm.
yeses and for the nos.
Well, it's-
for the witches and for the hoes, and for the liches and for my woes. Okay.
That was so good. I don't want to.
Yeah, that was
good.
almost
Yeah.
as good as the.
Also, I've had 2. I've had 2 this episode,
Yeah.
and that's it.
The one where you said a couple times differently, that was solid. One of your best bits.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but honestly, I'll
Take it.
I'll take it. I have to have
Take
no
it.
other choice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. That's gonna do it for this discussion. Obviously, it's something we're all so emotional about and just over. And yes, don't forget to tune into that live. We're gonna post about it on our community tab. So, what better reason for you to be subscribed, for the notification bell to be hit, to follow us on social media, because we're gonna be posting about it, and you're not gonna want to miss it. We're gonna plan the hell out of it, and it's gonna be an amazing, amazing show. So please show your support by being there. Because it's going to be a lot of fun. Send your comments, favorite moments throughout, all of our discussions, podcast episodes, videos, reviews, talking about Berserk, some of your favorite moments. We'll compile them, put them together. Your comments we want to compile. We just want it to be, like I said, a tribute to the whole series and to our journey through it. And thank you for being here. If you've been here since the very beginning, we appreciate you so, so, so much. But this is where we leave you for this video. But before we go, we have to thank quickly. But we have to thank them because they matter so much and they mean so much. Our wonderful, beautiful, amazing Patreon members. Thank every single one of you. And thank you to our new YouTube members as well. Your support, it means the freaking world to us. You guys are amazing. You guys have our hearts. You guys we wake up every day with a smile on our face, or I do. At least Cody probably wakes up with it's probably more of a smile than it was before your support, but it's maybe not a full smile.
No, it's like, oh, I'm awake again.
Yeah. But then he kind of remembers, and then he kind of goes like, but maybe for like a second. But that's a lot for Cody. And Cody's saying that not even that. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean the world to him too, or to Megan either. It means the world to all of us. So thank you so much. And if you would like to become a Patreon member, just go to patreon.com/volume1pod, early access, exclusive to our Patreon, exclusive bonus podcast, Volume 1 Extra. And you can also become a member by just clicking join on this video. Thank you so much. Guys, you want to do a speed run? You want to take it away?
We do a quick version of it. You could also, if you're like, I don't got, what am I, Griffith over here? I got my own budgets to manage
Yeah.
here. Well, then you still want to support. Well, what other route can they take?
Well, you can take the Skytree route
Okay.
and leave
Oh, I
a
love
comment
it.
on our videos. Anything you want. Algorithm, comma, period, emoji. And it works as a tip on our Skytree.
That's right. Every tip is a seed being planted for success.
Success and prosper.
Wow, that was great.
Prosperity.
Prosperity.
I gotta give it up. That was awesome.
Give it up then.
I'm giving it up.
You're not clapping.
You say
When
give
you
it up,
say
and
give
you
it
proceed
up-
to do nothing.
Yeah, give it up.
Give
Give
it
it
up.
up.
I'm acknowledging it. I'm giving it up by acknowledging
You
it.
That's- Acknowledge it by
acknowledging
clapping.
it.
No,
That's
I say-
not giving it up.
I say,
you
give
remember
it-
famous
give it up.
That was
give it up
crazy.
for Van
then
Halen.
people
Everyone
go-
just goes
Goes
like, yeah,
like-
they deserve to have it being given
They
up for.
deserve-
People go,
Gave
people go,
up.
give it
Yeah.
up. Give it up.
No.
You guys have never heard that.
Okay.
Well, maybe you guys don't get it given up for you a lot.
I don't know.
Oh.
Oh wow. Thank you for your
You're
support.
gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah, my heart is really hurting bad right now. But thank you for your support, no matter how you choose to show it. Thank you. Even if you're just watching, even if you're just listening, even if you're just liking, subscribing, just thank you so much. That's it. The only thing left to do now is to get out of here on our outro that's always the same and never changes, which today, of course, is
The sky tree is the limit.
I mean,
Put the Casca in the casket.
That's good.
I feel like
dark.
I feel like a tree opportunity will come up in the future. I don't know how often we can use put the Casca in the casket.
But it's like, I don't want to put Casca in a casket.
No one does.
Take Casca out of the casket. What's in the casket?
What's
take Casca out of the casket. Can we say that? Or
I mean, but then it defeats the spirit of
put the Casca in the casket?
No.
She just got out of it.
I know.
Skytree's the limit. It's not bad.
Morda.
Oh, you want to do a Morda?
Give me more of that.
It's not. It's you're on the right
Give me
track.
more of
and
that.
The spirit of it is good. The spirit, your heart is in it, and that's all that matters.
We gotta hand it to.
Have we ever done that?
No.
We gotta hand it.
God hand. Yeah.
We gotta hand it to it.
I like Skytree's the limit.
Yeah.
Dude.
Skytree's the limit.
Because it's like what's gonna happen in the last chapter.
Right. You're right.
Skytree's the limit. You know.
You're right.
It's why I came up with it. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time,
Skytree's the limit.